So we got a couple of viewers in the chat. I should announce all streams like 24 hours in advance, shouldn't I? I've learned my lesson now. Can't be a big name boss like Bart and Frank. Just throw it up and expect hundreds of people. But it's all good. We don't need hundreds. Today's going to be very intimate. We're going to let it build up a little bit, as usual. And we will be accepting live calls. So it should be an exciting, fun day. If you guys haven't been here before, we will have... I'll throw out a phone number. If you guys are in the US or you guys have Google Voice, feel free to call in the number. It's a first come, first serve basis. And I'll just chat you up. We'll keep the topics, you know, related to what we normally talk about on the channel. Fitness, food, carnivore, vegan, ex-vegan. I welcome vegans to call. I actually haven't had a current vegan call, so I'm kind of hyped for an actual vegan to call in. What's up, guys? Atlas, Sid Meister. Sid Meister did actually DM me. He wants the first shot. So I'm going to send him the number first, and then we'll have him call in first. And then from there, we will take on random people. Surprised none of the haters have called yet. I have a feeling that's going to happen today. I just have a feeling. Atlas, how you doing? Drew's been trying to get my phone number for weeks. Now he's using this tactic? Hee. Yep, exactly. I'm writing all the notes down, putting you guys into those telemarketer databases that call me like 6 times a day. Oh, I'm hoping for a militant vegan. I need to be convinced, man. Like, I'm looking to be convinced. See, this is what I realized today separates my channel and my stream from other carnivore channels and other keto channels, is that I leave the 1% chance open to be converted back to veganism. 1%. Only because I've been there, done that. And I've done my, my researches, but 1%. I think that's reasonable. That's very reasonable. Common Sense Keto says, this is my preferred stream. Thank you very much. God bless you, my sir. Man, my nips are hard for this one, Nicholas Baker says. Nicholas, warm those nips up. There's no reason for them to be hard yet. We're going to have some wild callers calling in hopefully soon. Maybe some militant vegans would be nice. Should call James Wilkes? Hey, Drew, how's Elise? Jupiter's mom says. I don't know. Why would I know? Fuck yeah, here we go. Not funny anymore. What is up? What is up? 34 viewers popping in already. I love it. Make sure you guys hit the like video so that everybody sees this thing popping up on their feed. I announced this only like a few hours ago, so that would really, really help out. I would really appreciate that, so that people want to do these live call-in shows. I've had this requested a lot, so Saturday should be good. Everybody's off work. Call in, and we'll get it started pretty soon. I would disable ad block on your channel if you went back to veganism. That would be fair. I would think that's fair. I'm really glad that you allow the ad block or the ads to play as I'm a carnivore, though. Carnivore-ish. Did you guys see what I posted the other day on what I eat? I posted like on my community tab exactly what I've been eating. Some people were saying I'm too high carb. I was like, what? 13% calories from carbohydrates? Come on. Give me a break. Let me pull up my chronometer here. I'm trying to figure out a way to eat low fat, higher carb while still eating meat, obviously. And it's actually pretty hard. I hear vegans are going to be eating their own poop now for vitamin B12. Eesh, it's gotten that bad, huh? James Wilkes is a straight-up liar. Study he used to show humans get B12 from dirt was misrepresented only if the veggies are grown in human shit. That's disgusting. That is really disgusting. Vegans would try that, too. Remember back in the day, I've said this a few times, Freely and Durin Rider used to talk about pooping in a bucket and then dumping it into their own personal garden outside. And then they were eating the plants that were grown with the human shit. Like, what the fuck? You can actually, I've heard that you can transfer some of the parasites and some of the germs that come from the human poop into the plants. That's disgusting. That's really bad. I mean, it's still cow shit that kind of grows a lot of our crops. I mean, that's kind of gross too if you think about it, but The human shit, come on. In India, they poop on their crops. Well, India has like the highest rate of disease all around. And I've even been seeing recently that it is linked to their vegetarian diet. Did you like the video of vegan gains preferring death over eating animals? Dude, that guy's an idiot. Like, I said this before, I have respect for people who come on my channel. Technically, Vegan Gains has been on the channel before, not as a full interview, but him telling John Venus on live air that he is willing to die, even if like the doctors told him he had a month to live and he needed to eat animal foods, and he's like, yeah, I'd rather just die. That's it. I'd rather just die. Like this like blank, dumbass look in his face. Sorry, Richard, you're an idiot. That's a stupid thing to say. You would never do that. Get real. That's so stupid. Clip this, send it over to him. I don't give a shit. That guy's an idiot. And I'm sure he would tell John Venus that he should do the same. And if the doctor said that his child would die if he doesn't eat animal foods, if the doctor was like, your son absolutely needs vitamin D, calcium from milk, raw milk growing down the street right now, just go milk the cow. Otherwise, he's going to die in a couple weeks. Vegan Gains would say, let him die. He deserves to die. If he can't handle if he can't handle a plant-based diet, then he doesn't deserve to live. You are psychotic, bro. Legitimately psychotic. I don't know if I can promote him on my channel with good faith. I will have almost anybody on my channel. And don't get me wrong, I know that would come with a lot of views. I know having Vegan Gains on the channel would be a big stream. But, dude, that kind of proved how crazy he is. It really did. I was shocked when I heard that. And I've actually been saying that I don't think Vegan Gains will go down with the ship. I don't think he would actually allow himself to stay sick too long as a vegan. I guess I was wrong, man. The guy is really jumped the shark. What up, T-Bone Tribe? Why low fat? Okay, so the reason why I'm looking into low fat would be an experiment. Don't get me wrong. I think the high fat, high protein thing is really good for just overall everything. But I've been looking into my bodybuilder homies. You know, Jonathan Irizarry pushes a high carb, high protein, low fat diet. So does Stand Efforting, the author of the Vertical Diet. Massive power lifter dude, super huge performance. He has athletes that are under his care that he keeps in very good health and very good shape. And they all eat a high carb, low fat diet with not low fat in the terms of like 5 grams a day, but like lower fat so they don't gain fat. And they keep their pancreas healthy and stuff like that. Let's take a look though. So this is what we have going on here. This was my what I posted the other day. And I actually didn't post this bottom part because I know people would freak out. The vitamin C is too low. Like, who cares? It's probably in the meat anyways. I don't have any signs of vitamin C deficiency. Haven't been sick in over a year. Not even close. Look at the B12. No supplement, but I get 882%. No fortified foods, nothing. Just straight meat. Gotta love that. Vegans, get real. Look at the leucine. Can you guys see this? I'm gonna zoom in. Look at the leucine amount. This is like the key component to muscle growth right here. 21 grams of leucine. No matter how hard I tried on a vegan diet, even with protein powders, I was getting like 10. And people were freaking out saying that I was eating too many carbs. Look at the carbs. 13% of my daily calories. And people were saying I was eating too many carbs. Like, dude, I live in the real world, bro. I don't really care. Like, 13% of my daily calories, bro. And half of it's from milk, too. Look at the milk. The milk has 91 calories. So 31% of my daily calories, daily carb calories, is coming from milk. Carbs are vegan, bro. Carbs are vegan, bro. It's true. It's true. So this is the day I made the next day. This would be like, I was trying to make a low fat day with high protein and high carb. But I don't even know if I want to eat like this. So look, I dropped the protein down to 185, which is still a lot. I can definitely make gains. I took out whole milk. I replaced it with 2% milk. I turned my hamburger ground beef from 80% fat to 95% fat, and I also dropped the quantity down to like 6 ounces. So the meat is lowered a lot. The beef I changed from ribeye to sirloin, 6 ounces, which is nothing. I eat like twice this much meat a day easily. And then I added white rice, 1.5 cups uncooked per day, which is 1,000 calories. And that still only brings me to 2,600, 2,700 calories for the day. I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I could eat this. This would be a lot of food. Stan the Rhino is a beast, exactly. Stan doesn't support low fat? Yeah, he does. Lower fat. I'm talking like, you know, he probably does like 80 grams a day or something like that, which this would be 20% of my day, 22% of my daily calories if I ate this meal. That'd be tough. We got Rob Bliss in here. What's up, Rob Bliss? Most farm cows are injected with B12. No, they're not. No, they're not. Go watch Sean Baker's last video and his last post about it. He's been talking to farmers all over the place. It is not common practice to inject your cows with B12. That is a myth. And by the way, they make it in their gut. That is completely incorrect. Completely incorrect. That is like vegan myth 101. Watch what you say, Drew. He might challenge you to an MMA match. Richard? Nah, I ain't fighting Richard. I don't care. I'll talk shit all I want, and he's not going to do anything. He's like 4,000 miles away anyway. Hey, man. Sometimes the truth hurts, man. I'm just commenting on what he said on his stream. I'm not interested in fighting the guy. I'm not interested in any type of violence whatsoever with any of these vegans. I'm just calling it like I see it. Roslyn76 says, I would go slow. Damn, those carbs keeping me alive. What? Are you vegan, Rob?
Told him anything except don't vape.
Ooh.
Don't vape. We don't like vaping.
Hey. First donation of the stream. What's up, Rob? No one is making donations. Cheap carnivores. Hey, the rich vegans making donations, guys. Apparently. Robless, you're wrong, Carnivore Gain says. Chronometer is so pretty. Yes, it is. It's beautiful. Calculating nutrients and calories like this is pointless. Just eat a big fat plate of meat until you're satisfied. Hey, I agree with that, Siebes. When I first started eating a lot of meat, I was hearing about the people like Michaela Peterson, Sean Baker, you know, all these like really high-level carnivore people. They're saying that all they crave is beef anymore. And as I go on with this, I realized about a month ago that all I buy is beef anymore. I buy chicken and turkey only as a result of me not being able to get beef for that meal. I don't crave anything else except for beef. What about a thumb war? Yeah, basically, when I go to the store, I buy steaks, eggs, and I come out with ground beef. That's it. And I eat buns with my ground beef, obviously, when I make hamburgers. I also got some good news, guys. I have a call set up later. I'm going to be calling in to a local beef supplier here. They are like 20 minutes away. I've talked about them before. They have the cows, raised up in the local hills here. And the owner of the farm wants to talk affiliate situation. So that would be really cool. Hopefully they ship nationwide, and then I can get you guys some of the best beef that I've ever had. Fully intact, aka the balls are on the cow. Beef. Full testosterone, full nutrition profile, full everything. I've had it before, and I had energy for like the rest of the day, and I'm not even joking about that. I felt amazing. You know me, I eat my factory farm meat, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that grass-fed beef isn't better. It is better. Rob, I'm not vegan, I am plant-based. Respect to you, plant-based man. Just like James Wilkes, apparently, with the plant-based documentary, The Game Changers.
We haven't told him anything except don't vape. Don't vape. We don't like vaping.
James Wilkes claims that The Game Changers was a plant-based documentary, not a vegan documentary. Can you guys believe that? Atlas Quinn says, beef is the greatest of all meats, but I do enjoy turkey. I had turkey last night, and I had like a little tiny bit of stomach bloating going on after I ate it. But when I eat beef, Never an issue. Never, ever, 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 ever an issue. What's up, Anina? I have a shrimp ring to eat today. So shrimps instead of beef for today. Yeah. Eggs. Okay. Cool. Hell yeah. My life in the sunshine. Yeah. I wouldn't be supporting them if they weren't local and if they weren't like top of the line. Now, that being said, I have reached out to a couple other suppliers, but I personally been to this farm and it is top of the line, real beef. I mean, you couldn't make it any better or fresher unless you killed the cow yourself and brought it inside and then ate it right there. There's practically no 100% whole foods vegan. Everybody needs to eat junk food like fake meat and fake cheese, fake food with no nutritional value instead of with inflammatory compounds. Yeah, I find it interesting how somebody messaged me earlier. I get so many DMs from you, beautiful, loyal fans, subscribers, supporters. I love you all. You guys throw so much new content at me to watch on YouTube. I spend, I don't even know how many hours a day trying to keep up with all the stuff that people send me and all of the new vegan stuff and the new carnivore stuff and all that stuff. I mean, I'm trying to watch everything I can on YouTube just to stay up to date. I feel like it's my full-time job. Basically is my full-time job. Hench Fartivore, you're calling out Primal Edge for hating children and the planet? The bigot himself? Do lean meats with high carb, low fat. Dairy if you want high carb and low fat. Got a soft, low fat cheese. Oh, that came from a cell phone. I could tell. My brain just fried right there. Surely you miss fruit to some degree. David, I eat whatever I want, brother. I'll eat fruit. I eat pastries. I eat candy. You guys don't believe it. Thanks like, dude, welcome to the More Gang. I got like Ghirardelli chocolate right here. I eat whatever I want, man. See, I want to design my body. I want to get it to the point where it's so healthy, I can handle eating whatever I want and not have a bad reaction to it. I'm not saying those things are healthy, and I'm not saying you could eat them nonstop and have no reaction. I just want, you should be able to eat a Ghirardelli chocolate and not have a bad reaction to it, right? It just makes sense. Like if your body's very healthy. But maybe not. And if I keep having bad reactions to that stuff, then I'm not going to eat it. Zombie Mukbang says, my friend's kid told me last night she's trying vegan for a while. So I pulled out a tub of ice cream and she's like, maybe I won't. Hey, that's the reality like with vegans, isn't it? They go to a restaurant, they're like, I'm vegan. Do you guys have bread in the milk in the bread? And they're like, let me check with the kitchen. They come back. Oh, I'm so sorry. There is the eggs in the French roll. And they're like, okay, I'll have one anyway. It's fine. I can't avoid it. I'm vegan. So ridiculous. Health confidence. Thanks for bringing that back. You're right. Yes, I'm health confident. Carnivore Gain says, your diet sounds like mine, Drew. A body that can't eat a variety of foods is a weak body. I agree. Like, don't get me wrong. I am sold on the fact that we have a species-specific diet. In my mind right now, after trying everything, I am 99% convinced that it's 100% animal foods, and with beef being at the top of that pyramid. 100, like I'm almost certain of that. Now, don't get me wrong. I think you should still be able to have some other pieces of food and not have a terrible reaction to it. But there's obviously going to be different limits for different people. There's people who claim that they have great digestion as a vegan, which I find just so fascinating. I don't understand how it's possible. Chad says, I respond great to plant-based. If I didn't, I'd grill a steak with no remorse. What do you eat, Chad? Do you eat meat as well, or what's the deal? Make a Drew Morg food pyramid? Okay. Let's talk food pyramid here. Hang on one second.
And here comes a real steak. But just look at the texture of this thing.
Here comes a real steak. Hey, thank you, Atlas Quinn. $2 donation there. Drew, do you think veganism is becoming a cult? I don't think it's becoming a cult. I think it's been a cult. I think it started as a cult and it disguised itself as a health movement. Got normal ass people like me who are in the gym trying to lift weights and like do normal shit to get sucked into it. So they're just like scheming in the corners with their pink and green dyed hair and their rectangular reading glasses. How are we going to get these normal people into our diet so they stop eating the animals? That'll be better for everything. We'll validate ourselves with our posters in front of the meat farm. Cruel meat, cruel meat. So ridiculous. So I think it's already been a cult. I think it disguised itself as less than a cult recently, and people are starting to buy into it because they're like, oh, they've dropped the cult image. Oh, wow, there's science behind this? There's UFC fighters doing vegan diets? Nate Diaz? And then they Google him and it's like, Nate eats fish. They're like confused, you know? Why do the vegans keep claiming all these people that aren't even vegan? Oh, you start to see that the fake news is involved. It is bullshit. Charles says a body that can't handle heroin once is a weak body. There might be some exceptions to that rule there, Charles. Okay, says your gut sounds messed up. Ever eat just beef without plant foods? Are you talking to me? Okay. If I eat just beef without plant foods, yeah, all the time. I have steak dinners all the time. I eat a piece of steak almost every day, and I just have it with milk, and I have like perfect digestion every single time. Every time. But what I've been doing lately, like I told you guys, is having raw garlic with at least one meal per day. And I've noticed that it seems to be helping my digestion a bit. I've had very good digestion for almost a month straight now, which is shocking because I was going on a roll where I was just having bad digestion. I was like eating or drinking Monster energy drinks, which was totally messing me up. I was eating too much carb stuff. Oh, okay. No worries. Okay. Hench says, good raw liver tastes like candy. Oh, how I wish I had a good source of raw liver right now. It's a blessing from the heavens. I feel a boost when eating good raw liver. Yeah. I agree. Raw liver is pretty crazy, man. Pretty powerful stuff. It makes you feel some type of way. Rob Bliss says, ever tried kangaroo meat? I haven't. I would eat it, though. Jason Pizzino said, buddy, we got to get you to Australia. I'll feed you kangaroo burgers. He was just posting in his stories the other day eating kangaroo. Chronic inflammation is not a cause of disease. Something is causing the inflammation. That is the issue. I agree with that. Common sense, Keto. You are eating something which is giving you the inflammation. It's like a direct cause and effect. By the way, guys, if you haven't considered this, spices are a secret cause to inflammation. You got to watch what you spice your food with. I'm using salt only now, and it has made a difference. Richard, I'm not sure if that's a real question or not. I'll let that stay hidden from the audience. Their virgin eyes. Carrie Hoffheimer says, I'm trying to let go of veganism, but the smell of meat and dairy makes me sick. I keep buying grass-fed beef and throwing it out. Carrie, you got to call on my show today. We got to talk. All right? Message me on Instagram, Carrie, if you want to call in. Message me on Instagram right now, @DrewMorg. I will send you the phone number, and you can call in first. Well, second. Sid Meister's calling in first. Ryan says, I eat an omnivore diet, a good steak with a salad or whole wheat bread with some eggs. I feel great. Good. See, Rob Bliss knows what's up with those spices, man. You know, guys, I'm a freak, man. I want to try. This is how sick I am about trying diets. I almost want to go back to veganism for 90 days just to test it out when I feel like my digestion is perfectly healed. That's how crazy I am. I'll do it. And I'll note my digestion the entire time, and I will keep track of my strength in the gym. I will do my best. I will do my best to try and get stronger as a vegan, just so that I can, at the end of it, I can be like, this stupid ass vegan sucks. Go plant-based. You can't. No, I will be vegan. I will be vegan. Just to piss off the vegans, I'll say that. I don't believe that turmeric's amazing for you. I know everybody says it's inflammatory or anti-inflammatory, but why do you need to eat something that's anti-inflammatory? Just don't eat inflammatory foods to begin with. White Space Marine says, ooh, wait. Yeah, White Space Marine says, what is up with all the hate on Frank T? He seems like a good kid and he seems like he knows what he's talking about. I agree. I don't know what the hate is about him. He's just kind of like funky with his message delivery. He puts out some weird content sometimes. He's like an actor, so he does like kind of off the wall, weird videos where he's trolling and being sarcastic and people don't really pick up on it. And so, yeah, everybody just kind of jumps on his thing, but he's growing his channel. So, hey, he's doing his thing. He's doing the YouTube work. My Life in the Sunshine says, Drew, I am so excited about the Drew Morgan, Frank Tufano collab. It's going to be weird, but you can totally handle it. It's not going to be weird. It'll be fun. Online Herbalist says, do the vegetable police diet. What is that diet? That guy changes his diet like every day. He's believing the medical medium. No, thank you. Medical medium has, I don't want to get into it. I don't believe the guy. Yeah, My Life in the Sunshine wonders about spices. Yeah, like I said, spices, and I saw Megan Remedy was in here a second ago. She commented on the spices as well. I feel like peppers, cinnamon, all the spices, basically everything that you flavor your food with is potentially irritating your gut. So I just eliminated all of them. I'm just using salt. And actually, I find that I like my steaks just as much, if not more now, with just a lot of salt. Hey, shout out to Rob.
That's my first set.
That's my first set. Shout out to Rob Liss for the clip, baby. Rob, why wouldn't Jasmine let Richard fight me in a kickboxing match? I asked and she said no. I don't know, man. Maybe you would hurt Richard. She doesn't want to see him get hurt. She's real sensitive, too. She's real sensitive with Richard. She's real protective. I asked her the other day, like, if she prefers Richard with a six-pack or with a little bit of extra chub on him, and she blocked me on the chat. She got mad at me. Like, dude, that's a fair question. Vegetable Police did it and swears by it, swears by his diet. Dude, that guy switches all the time. I'm down with experimenting with diets, but I'm not going to be the type that jumps every other month. I'll do something for 6 months or a year, and I'll predestine that plan. Alias says, do you think by coddling your digestive tract, it will make your body more reactive to any kind of food outside a diet? I think that you have to let your digestive tract sort of recover and heal first. Then I think that you need to essentially make sure there's no type of infections or fungus growing in your digestive tract. So you're going to take some sort of antifungals or maybe even prescription medication, which your doctor will have to supply you, like nystatin or whatever. Kill off all the fungus. Then you got to repopulate with probiotics. Now you should hopefully have a nice, healed, functioning digestive system. That's the current understanding that I have of it. So I'm working on that myself right now. And just so you know, I'm not coddling my digestive system. I mean, I still eat everything to a certain extent. Sometimes it's not a big deal. Sometimes it kind of sucks. But I rarely have any type of bloating or gas. My digestion has been really amazing for at least the past month. Paul Baltodano says, Frank is a man-child that thinks he owns scientific information. Rob Bliss says, the same argument could be made with garlic. Why eat it if you have good digestion? I want to make sure I don't, because here I don't have good digestion if I eat a fibrous, carb-heavy meal. If I eat like, let's see. If I eat like bread or maybe even some vegetables like broccoli or something, I could have actually really bad bloating and really bad gas for a while. And it's not comfortable. So I want to kill off whatever I need to, then go back to eating whatever I want. And hopefully that will be good. Rob says, I'm a broke vegan now. Peace out, carnivores.
Don't vape. Don't vape. We don't like vaping.
Don't vape, Rob. Don't vape. Trump says. Hey, thank you for all the support today, Rob. I wish you would stick around and enjoy the chat, bro. Charles says, how are you going to give us your phone number, Drew Morg? I'm going to release it in the chat in a second here. I'm going to start taking my first call. I'm going to take my first call. It's going to be Sid Meister. He's a longtime supporter of the channel. Excited to talk to him. A fruitarian diet with some raw liver daily may be very healing. Drew Morg. I don't know about that one. Online Herbalist says, have you ever done full keto and for how long? No, I have not. I am not interested in living in ketosis. I am not interested in eating a super high fat diet, like 80% of my calories from fat. I'm not doing it. I don't care. I don't care if I die 10 years early. I'm not doing it. Megan Remedy says, I just did a gut healing video. There's a process called the 5 R's of digestive healing: remove, replace, repopulate, repair, and rebalance. I'm going to watch that video. And I've gotten similar concepts from the Heal Your Gut guy on YouTube, but I'm excited to see what you have to say about it. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I've removed the spices and removed all the crap. I've replaced it with salt and just things that are nice to my gut, basically. And yeah, like you said, repopulate. I've got to get on the probiotics soon here. We have raw kefir at my local Sprouts, so yeah. Yeah, I don't think wheat is necessarily good either, but wheat is something I want to be able to eat in at least some small quantity. I think wheat, like in a hamburger bun or something like that, I think you should be able to eat that in a small quantity. I'm not saying eat a loaf of bread every day. Zelmi Mukbang says, keto is low carb, doesn't have to be high fat. When I was keto, I never added fat. If you actually want to be in ketosis, producing ketones, that is, you do need to eat high fat to stimulate that, from what I've read. What's going on, guys? What's up, Honest AF? Did I think you were in Bart's stream? Did that end? I saw a bunch of people just popping right now. Okay. I'm going to give Sid my phone number right now. Just give me like 2 seconds, guys. I got to text the man. I'm going to open up the phone lines in a second here once we get started. Oh, I want to show you guys something else too. This Fruit Muscle Fitness TV people. It's vegan, fruity vegans saying that they have muscle mass. It's like insanity. Common Sense Keto says you can be in ketosis without adding fat if you eat very fatty meat and low calories. It is possible. Yeah, but I'm not going to eat low calories. I need to eat a lot of calories. I need to eat at least 3,000 calories a day to support my personal strength and growth goals. And finally, I'm seeing the scale move after a year of trying to be like super strict carnivore. I mean, I could probably do it on pure animal foods if I did milk, but without milk, I cannot gain weight on carnivore. Impossible. Literally impossible. I would have to force feed myself steak, and that's not fun. I'd rather just, like, might as well be vegan at that point. Seriously. Rice Cooker says, protein is insulinogenic? Not really. Go look up the people with the continuous blood glucose monitors. This is all that, like, the protein being insulinogenic is, like, vegan propaganda bullshit 101. Baz says, have you watched James Wilkes and Cresser on Rogan? Yeah. I watched some of it. It's so boring, man. I don't care about two experts going back and forth. So boring, dude. Like, look, vegans convinced me 5 years ago to go vegan. They won that battle. I went vegan. I did it. I did what they said. I did exactly what they said, and it didn't work. So there's really no study that can convince me. What are they going to convince me of? What the hell is the study going to convince me of? Go back to being vegan? Like, okay, well, what am I going to do differently this time? I already did what you guys said. See how ridiculous it is? Vegans won't tell you. They only tell you that you did it wrong. They won't tell you how to do it differently. Okay, I've sent the number out. I'm with you all. We should have the our buddy calling in very soon. Jack Jackson in the chat. Drew, do you understand why Jonathan Irizarry, a 200 plus pound rhino, can bulk on 3,500 calories while you need to eat the same, if not more, to gain weight? That's a good question. He's eating carbs, a lot of carbs, so therefore he's a lot more insulinogenic. That's number one. That's very key, very key. The more insulinogenic you are, the easier it is going to be for you to gain weight on the same amount of calories. Okay? That is key. 3,000 calories a day on protein and fat is not going to bulk you up the same way as 3,000 calories on a mixed macronutrient diet. All right? Very key to understand that.
Call from
Sid Meister.
to accept, press 1.
Sid,
It's Drew.
what's up, bro? You're on air, bro.
Excellent. How's the sound quality? Is it all right?
It's pretty good. Chat, make sure you guys let me know if he's loud enough, and if he's not, then I'll have to boost up the sound quality, but I can hear you just fine, man. How you doing?
Excellent. How are you doing?
Excellent. Excellent. What are we talking about today?
All right. I have a few things outlined on a piece of paper that I think kind of shows the inconsistencies and hypocrisy of veganism that we could potentially go over.
My favorite. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, and first and foremost, I'd like to thank you for having these interactive exchanges with the audience. It's kind of a rare thing that, not a lot of YouTube channels are able to do.
Well, I think that a lot of YouTubers are scared of the public, to be honest with you, and they are not real people to begin with. So, you got to be a real person to be able to talk to real people, right?
Yeah, and I'll try and be as transparent and sincere as possible.
Hey, man. That's
where
the way
to
to go.
start?
Yeah.
I was, so I'm an ex-vegan, or I guess as vegans would say, I was never really vegan in the first place. I was just plant-based, because in
All of
order to be
us.
vegan, you have to take it to the grave, right?
That's right. You have to die.
So, okay, one of the things I've outlined, have you heard of Greta Thunberg?
Yes.
So she sailed on this super catamaran from Europe to the United States, zero emission, to kind of promote like a plant-based diet and, zero carbon emission and whatnot. But
Yes.
the catamaran that she sailed on is owned by a Rothschild. I don't know if you're familiar with that family.
The very rich
Benjamin
Jewish
Roth-
family, right?
Yeah, exactly. Benjamin Rothschild. And he actually owns an endangered animal trophy hunting company that killed Aborigines off their land and displaced them so they could hunt elephants. So it's kind of, a bit hypocritical there, going for zero carbon emission and for the environment, but then the boat you used to sail on is owned by a guy that is killing people to hunt animals that are near endangered.
That's a good point. I mean, I cannot, validate that statement. I haven't researched it myself, but I'm assuming you've done your homework on this. I have no reason to not believe you.
Yeah. So also, I grew up as a Seventh-day Adventist for the first 16 years of my life. So I have a lot of family in Loma Linda. I come from a family of medical professionals throughout my ancestry, and I don't. So veganism kind of stems from this idea of Ellen White, who I would consider the prophet of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and she had thousands of visions of from God. One of them being that when Adam and Eve were in the garden, they were only eating plants and vegetables rather than meat, and it came out that she's lied about not eating meat throughout her life. After she died, her family disclosed that she consistently ate shellfish and steak and all of that stuff. So just yet another vegan hypocrisy. And the Seventh-day Adventist Church actually has a lot of a hold in the medical field at the moment.
Yeah.
But,
Loma Linda is real. Like, there's I don't know if it's anything to do with the actual Loma Linda Seventh-day Adventists in the area, but for instance, like my mom used to work at a big healthcare company, one of the big ones in Loma Linda, and that's where all the healthcare like offices were in that area, like Pacific Care, all the big all the big, what do you call it, insurance companies, health insurance companies are located there in Loma Linda.
The whole city centered around that hospital. It's worth billions of dollars.
Yep.
And another thing is, so I grew up in the church, and there's this notion going around that the majority of Seventh-day Adventists are vegan or vegetarian, but I've been to, dozens of churches over the years, and a lot of the times we go to McDonald's or Burger King right after church. So I don't know where people are really getting this idea that the majority of Seventh-day Adventists are vegetarian or vegan, but it's kind of this lie that's being put out there just through experience. Through studies they can say, oh, the majority of them are eating this way, but I've actually lived it. I've been to churches all around the nation, and it's really not like that.
You've seen, the thing with the Seventh-day Adventists is straight up on their website, on the Blue Zone website, they talk about the Loma Linda people. And it's funny, this is another group that vegans claim is part of their crew, basically. Like they like to claim Nate Diaz and all these other vegan athletes that aren't actually vegan, and they are publicly not vegan. It's not even like a conspiracy. Like you could go to the Blue Zone website and it shows exactly what they eat on average. And it says that they eat 15 to 20% of their daily caloric intake from animal foods. Like they're not even close to vegan, and they don't even promote themselves as vegan. But again, this is another group that vegans say is part of their squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and actually the dietary restrictions for Seventh-day Adventists, it actually derives from Deuteronomy in chapter 10. It says in the Bible, it says to stray away, not to consume pork, essentially, and shellfish. It says nothing about other animal meats. But so I have a bunch of thoughts here, and it's a big picture, right? So I might jump to different things here. But another thought I have is if you hold these two thoughts consistent with one another, that evolution is a slow, gradual adaptation to the environment and stimuli over time, and that humans by nature have consumed meat for tens of thousands of years, how can we have no adaptations towards eating meat? And ultimately, that's the most detrimental thing to our health. It really doesn't make sense to me. I guess
it just depends on how far back you want to go. So like the vegans, they'll say, well, we split from the monkeys, right? And they have a similar digestive system to us, which is actually not true. But they'll say we evolved from them. They're plant eaters. Vegans would love it in a perfect world to believe that chimpanzees and gorillas are all truly vegan, which is definitely not true, again. But, they'll say that that's how we adapted. So we would have had to adapt as a complete herbivore / frugivore to then be at the place where we're now eating animal foods only, like a carnivore, let's say. So, but the reality is that it comes down to me when in history, when we're breaking it down, to me, the most important thing is the brain size development. How did we go from such a small brain to a big brain? Our stomachs shrunk. It's kind of a clear-cut case that we needed to eat animal foods to sustain that kind of a quick evolution, I guess. And then we just look at how our digestive system is today. Like, how is it today? It's nowhere near close to any of these herbivorous animals, these hindgut fermenting animals. The truth is in the biology. The stomach acid. We do not have a cecum. We do not have a hindgut fermentation chamber. We have a very tiny colon compared to like a chimpanzee, and that is just the way it is. The biology just tells you right there. It's black and white. You could cut a human open and cut a chimp open, compare the two, and see that they're not the same. So how are we going to expected to eat the same foods?
Yeah, I mean, we're different species at the end of the day, right? And vegans like to point towards chimpanzees and monkeys, which was millions of years of evolution previously. Why
millions
not
of years
the
ago.
Closer relatives,
Yep.
Like Homo erectus or Neanderthals, which are a lot closer to us.
Yeah, and we know that we've been cooking with fire for over 1 million years. And I've said this before on stream, according to my research, and I will try to go back. This was when I was a vegan. I was doing this research, by the way. And I looked back and I found out that we only started incorporating amylase into our saliva 250,000 years ago. And we started using hearth ovens about that same time. So our technology evolved with the ability to cook plants at that point. Then we received that amylase genetic adaptation for that enzyme to actually break down starch in our mouth. So we have potentially only been eating starch as a mainstay nutrient in our diet for 250,000 years, where we could have been eating meat for millions of years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the new thing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was just saying that's the newcomer to the diet, not the meat. So go ahead.
Okay. This was almost this kind of what changed my perspective on veganism is when I heard the American Dietetics Association come out with their statement that a properly planned vegan diet is adequate for all stages of life, including pregnancy, infancy, childhood development, etc. And the perspective I come at it with is I had a properly planned vegan diet and it failed me. So how can they come out and release this statement? And vegan being a new ideology, really only coming into the mainstream in the last 10, 20 years, how can they already say that it's good for infants to be vegan or, during childhood development, during like such key stages of life? It just seems a bit suspicious to me.
I haven't looked into this myself, but I do trust the man. Sean Baker has talked about this a lot. Are you aware of what he says regarding the people who wrote that into the American Dietetics?
Not wholly, but I know that they linked in nutritionfacts.org in that paper too. So
well, in the people who did the research or had that added to the statement from the American Dietetics are vegans. They are it's a massive conflict of interest. Basically, vegans are the ones who added that information to the American Dietetics, official statement or whatever. So, why did it have to be vegans that added that in? Like, why wouldn't it just be normal people in there that are like, oh, by the way, we found through real science and real scientific research that this diet is suitable. If you want to eat vegetables, go for it. If you want to eat 100% plants, go for it. And again, why do they use the term suitable and why don't they use the term optimal? If something is suitable, that to me sounds like you're on survival rations. If it was amazing, they would say it's optimal. And I've also heard recently, shout out to Vegan Deterioration in our chat right now, she just popped in. She said that on one of her recent videos that they actually changed that statement in the ADA. They've actually changed it to saying that if an infant cannot feed on milk, to still use some kind of animal food milk supplements for the first 6 months or something like that. So
yeah, and that's just science. The facts we know today can change tomorrow.
Yeah, that's just science. That's exactly like you said. You did a well-planned vegan diet, or whatever they told you to do. How long were you vegan
Whatever
for?
I researched, I put dozens of hours in back then researching what would I eat to have an optimal diet, and the diet still failed me. So how can the ADA come out with this recommendation?
Right.
It just seems like a blatant lie to me. And also,
how long were you vegan for?
Vegan, 18 to 20 months. But another thing vegans say is, oh, okay, you did the diet wrong. Okay, yeah. I don't consider myself that stupid of a person, right?
Right.
So if I spent hours researching this and then implementing it into my diet and it still failed, how can we expect to, make this applicable to the general population?
Well, here, I don't know if you heard me say this before you called in, but vegans are quick to tell you that you did it wrong, but they can't tell you how you should have done it right. So they're happy to say, hey, you did it wrong. That's why it didn't work for you. And you say, okay, well, this is what I ate. This is exactly what I ate. I tried this way. I tried that way. I tried this way. What would you have done differently? And they're like scratching their heads. They're like, shit, I'm doing the same thing. It's working for me. It's working for my friend Steve over there. It's like, little do you know that Steve's over there sneaking eggs. You got this person over there that eats fish once a month. The vegans, though, you know what I mean? Like they're so inconsistent, and they don't like. I've posted my chronometers when I was a vegan. I posted all my information. I've challenged vegans to come through and tell me what I did wrong on those on that final year of veganism, where I was eating a very well balanced diet, oats in the morning with chia seeds, with berries, with cooked food at dinner. I had bananas for lunch. I lived in the tropics. I got plenty of sun. I got plenty of exercise. Like, dude, I had the least stressful life ever, and it still didn't work for me. Terrible bloating, terrible gas. Oh, you had underlying gut issues, Drew. It's like, dude, okay, well, how would I fix that then? Call Goji Man. I don't know who Goji Man was.
I remember you saying, like, people. I remember vegans saying they blamed your month of fasting on your screwed up digestive system. But if the diet is the most optimal diet, won't it be able to fix that?
That's what I've said since the beginning.
Yeah, I thought that was a very good point.
Dude, and the thing is here's the ironic thing. When I did the 30 days juice fasting, I had the best digestion I had ever had on a vegan diet following the 30 days of juice fasting for about 9 months. I had good digestion. I have a video on YouTube where I'm like skinny as hell talking about how I'm finally making muscle gains and I have good digestion. Like I am on record saying that on my channel. I'm so happy that I have this shit on YouTube. Nobody can call me out for that. They're saying I have good digestion and I stand by that. I did have good digestion at that time until I started to eat soy products and peanut butter and I started to finally gain weight. But you know, cool, you have good digestion, but you're 140 pounds. Like, what does that actually mean? You're like you're super skinny. You can't gain any muscle mass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Transitioning, you know, because the Joe Rogan Experience is pretty talked about at the moment because it just came out.
Yep.
I think James Wilks, he personifies the exuberant, cocky roar that most vegans seem to give off, like a sense of undeniable certainty about a heavily debated and fairly new topic. And I see that in a lot of vegans. They just seem so sure. But me, I'm a little more skeptical, you know, about what's trying to be spoon-fed in our mouths. You know, I think the most important, like not the most important, but I think the most profitable thing a company can sell you is an idea. And that's not, a lot of people don't realize that. And especially an idea that sticks. And with all this monetary incentive and struggle for power, you know, amongst these conglomerates, it's just a bunch of people trying to sell you stuff. You have to decipher through the bullshit.
Yeah, well, I remember back in the day, like when it was early vegan days, I'm talking 5-6 years ago, we're talking like 2014, 2013, the height of like During Rider and Freely, if you were around during that time on YouTube.
I was there afterwards, but okay. I still caught it.
So these two were the power couple on YouTube, right? When I got started into all this, you know, During Rider's calling everybody out for steroids, saying eat high carb, look at me, I'm training with Lance Armstrong. You had Freely, like the perfect, you know, sexy fit body, skinny chick, teaching girls how to get fit and lean. I'm like, you know what? These people are onto something new right here. I haven't heard this before. Maybe what they're talking about works. And I remember back then During Rider saying like, selling veganism, there's no money in veganism. Nobody's selling broccoli. You know what I mean? And I was like, that makes sense.
It's like a meme, like big broccoli. Yeah. They seem to make it a meme, but grains have astronomically higher profit margins than meat does.
Well,
and that's what they won't talk about either.
They didn't know that in 2017, 2018, 2019 would be the rise of all these fake meat products that are now multi-billion-dollar companies. Like, little did they know
who's
that
backing them, right? Who's backing Impossible Burger? The Bill Gates Foundation,
massive companies,
Saudi Arab princes,
it's
the
an investment.
Rockefellers. It's crazy.
It's a money making investment. These people who are running the show are not vegan, obviously. The vegans sold out because if you're a vegan and you're like and you're gonna sell your plant burgers to some company and Coca-Cola comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm gonna buy you out for $50 million." You're like, "Okay, see ya." You're gonna sell that company in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like my little honeybee company, my vegan dating app. I would have sold that shit to Match.com for $5 million. I would have sold out real quick.
Oh, hell yeah. And that's kind of what I think, like in a broader sense, like the bigger picture, I think what's happening is the world population is growing. The meat monetary incentive is decreasing. So there's this transition from meat to grains. And I think the meat industry is in on it as well. You know, to be able, they're trying to convince the population that you can live off grains and vegetables because we're not necessarily running out of room to raise cattle, but it's just not nearly as profitable. Like
not as profitable.
These slot burgers, which cost, you know, 1% of a cent to make, as opposed to an animal being raised. There's a lot more money involved, and not as nearly as many expenses.
Well, I think if we, you know, you just said something that kind of triggered something in my brain right there to research maybe. It's interesting how countries by their general population size go more plant-based as the country has more people in it. As the population is bigger, you know, these little countries you hear about, Norway, Denmark, these are like meat-based cultures. Fish, you know, hunting, people are still hunting there. You know, America, we're kind of in the middle. And then, you know, you have like India, which is the most populated country, and they're
We haven't
officially
told them anything
vegetarian.
yet, Jeff. Don't
So
vape.
that's interesting,
Don't
isn't
vape.
it?
We don't like vaping.
We don't like vaping.
We don't like vaping. How'd you hear that?
I hear it through the voice call, but I love that.
Nice.
That meme.
Ellis just sent the chat or the super chat. Libido low, vegetarian runner. Please cover this. Meat help you? Ooh, Ellis, you should call in. You should call in. I will cover that after we get off the phone with Sid. Don't let me forget, okay? All right.
I guess another idea I have
yeah.
is that, so physicians, 80, 90 years ago, they were prescribing people healthier, like healthy cigarettes, alcohol, morphine. There was corruption in these systems decades, if not centuries ago. How do we not, how do we presume that this corruption still isn't prevalent in these systems today? You go to a doctor and they prescribe you cigarettes 90 years ago and you trust them. Maybe the same thing's happening with the plant-based diet today.
I mean, it just comes down to people being uneducated about what government and what the government is capable of. Like I
some
said,
of the declassified documents from the government, like around the same time they were telling us not to use aerosol cans because of the hole growing in the ozone layer.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with Operation Starfish Prime, but the government literally sent out a bunch of nukes into the atmosphere to try and blow a hole. And that's like declassified.
This happened? What's it called?
Sorry, what was that?
What's it called?
Operation Starfish Prime. It's declassified
Starfish Prime.
Military documentation of them sending nukes out into the atmosphere.
I'll have to look into
that.
And
a few others like Operation Paperclip, where we took in roughly 2,000 Nazi scientists after World War II, and the lead for NASA at the time was these Nazi scientists, like rocket engineers and whatnot. The same with the CIA. It's crazy following the tracks of how some of these organizations started.
Well, kind of to my point, this is just more simple for people to consider. There's a lot of things that have happened on a global scale that are really bad things. Like, let's say World War II, for instance. That was what, 1942 or something like that. I mean, that was like 80 years ago. That wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah.
And people are like, that could never happen again. Why do you need guns to protect yourself from the government? That sounds crazy. You're crazy. And you're like, this happened in my grandparents' lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, what are you telling me, that this is impossible to happen? Like, people trust too much. And I think it's a good thing that humans have. We're able to sort of like forgive and forget in a way, which is good. Like, we would be very depressed, unhappy people if we didn't have that ability. But it's almost to the fact where most people forgive and forget too much. You know what I mean? There should be a balance there. And life is easy now. Life is really easy now. We're in the golden age of the internet, technology. Anything you ever want to know is on Google. And I'm not saying it's easy, like you don't have to work for money and stuff like that. There's still a lot to understand about. There's a lot of suffering going on, but like, it's changing. It's changing. So people are trusting because people think that it's just going to be taken care of for them magically. And so therefore, why not trust the doctors? Why not trust the government? They're out to help me out, right? I mean, Obama's a good speaker, right? He's a good guy.
They went to school for 10 years. I should trust them. But just growing up around medical professionals my whole life, I realized that a lot of physicians, what they're taught to do is just, they learn the effects of drugs, they learn symptoms of humans, and they prescribe the drugs to humans. And that's basically how it goes, unfortunately. And here's another idea for people to consider, and I think this one shouldn't be overlooked, and look, I may come off as a paranoid, schizophrenic, conspiracist, psychotic delinquent, but a lot of people make a lot of money off people being sick. At the end of the day, the healthcare industry is second to the military. So why would they come out with the cure to make people healthy and happy? That's kind of my perspective. The people that want to maintain power and money, why would they give that up? They're trying to hold on to it for as long as possible. But
yeah, they're actively trying to grow it. That's their business. Their business is sickness. And
Yeah.
I have actually a follow up for you there on that. The whole give people drugs, give people whatever type of thing. Now I've got a personal friend. I don't need to name names, but the guy's a dentist, and I'm cool with what he's doing. I don't care. But he was telling me, he's like, you know what? I was seeing more patients than the average dentist in my company, and so my boss pulled me aside. He's like, hey, you're seeing more patients than anybody, but your bill rate is really low. And he's like, go train with our partner company down the street, our partner office down the street, and you need to train underneath of, so and so. He's been doing this a long time. He'll get you straightened out over there. So my buddy goes over there, and he noticed that this doctor, or this dentist, was giving everybody crowns, which is like 8 times more expensive than a filling. And in school, good dentistry is taught to these guys to give a filling. So they practice fillings. They don't even give crowns in school. So in the real world, he's learned, you don't give fillings. They're too cheap. You give crowns. So everybody gets crowns now. So when he goes back into the office, he's like, now I'm one of the highest billed out doctors in the entire company because I'm just shooting crowns out at people. Everybody that comes through is like crown, 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 crown. Done deal. Those are $1,200 a pop. And because it's coming out of the insurance company's pocket, they don't really care, and neither does the client, because they're like, oh, I'm getting a better product, and I'm paying a little bit more on the copayment, but I'm getting a crown. I'm getting a good solid new tooth, basically. So the money is just flowing in now, and this is like what doctors are doing. They're like, oh, I'm going to prescribe drugs. Why would I tell this person to go home and eat healthy? Like, I'd rather them just come back to me and I can just keep dosing them up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people fail to understand, or they're often willing to overlook, is that money makes the world go round. If you think about the amount of corruption on, let's say in your city, like on a local level, for someone to become a part of the school board, or for someone to become a mayor, what about for these authoritative positions that are guiding the general population? Like, how much of your soul do you have to sell to get to these positions? That's what I'm curious about. I think there's very few good apples the higher you look up in power.
I think you're right. And without me getting too conspiracy oriented here, because, I'm all Mr. Pro Second Amendment over here. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's in America, we have the, Second Amendment is right behind our freedom of speech is our freedom to bear arms.
Protects our First Amendment.
What people don't realize is that a few years ago, the godfather of the they call it the bullet button. It's something that's it's on our AR-15 rifles. It's a button that doesn't allow you to switch the magazine out quickly, right? So they invented this thing in California that in order for your rifle to be legal, you have to have this little button on there so that you can't pull your magazine out and take it to school and shoot like a bunch of people. Now, of course, the public thought this was a really good idea. So whether it was or not is not what I'm here to talk about. But the guy who literally was the spearheading chief of that entire plan was caught a few years ago selling guns and firearms and like grenade launchers and shit to Taliban related people. And he's in jail right now for it. This is a guy, his name is Senator Leland Yee. This is not a conspiracy whatsoever. This guy is in jail. You can look this up on Google, no problem. And this guy was a high level person in the California, Sacramento, justice system. I think he's a senator. So like, dude, these people are pulling all kinds of shit all the time. And it's barely publicized too. It's barely publicized. You can look it up. It's real, but it's not blasted all over the news that, oh, this happened. Like you'd figure that'd be on the news every day for the week, but it was barely even talked about.
Yeah. At least he's in jail, right? How many of those guys just get away with it? They don't even do jail time.
Oh, correct.
If you follow Epstein, he actually got charged with the whole, child stuff a decade beforehand. And he had 63 cases brought in before him, and he only got charged for one. And you know what he did? He built his own jail, and he stayed in it for 8 months and got out. And then what happens 10 years later? He gets caught doing the same thing. It's just awfully suspicious.
Where there's
money
smoke, there's
can buy
fire.
you. Like, how much can money buy you? Especially when you're
Anything.
a multi-million or even billionaire.
Dude,
anything. There's pretty much nothing you can't buy at that point.
That is correct. That is correct. I do want to show you mentioned I don't know if you can see the stream right now, but I'm going to show the audience here. this was shown to me. It's a meme with Greta and her mom, or I don't know if this is her mom. Who is that? Is that a famous person? You guys know who that is? I don't know.
I know her
is.
parents are famous. I think she comes from both of her parents are actors or something like that.
Then that might be the situation. So the chairs that they're sitting in are each about $10,000 US. So they're like these modern art piece chairs, and people look them up on the websites where they came from, and they found what these chairs were, and they're about $10K. So,
yep.
They're like, Miss Humble, you stole my childhood, my dreams, and yet they're sitting in $10,000 a piece chairs. So you tell me if this girl's dreams have really been stolen.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys can fact check me on that about the super catamaran that she sailed across the Atlantic with. It is owned by Benjamin Rothschild, who also owns a trophy hunting company that stripped not Native Americans, but Aborigines off their land, and just so they could hunt endangered animals.
Crazy. It's like that
and
movie.
Have you seen Joe Biden lately? I think that's another quick talking point. Is Joe Biden seems to be losing it, like with him saying, "I love having children on my lap." And,
that guy's crazy, man.
And he also called some other guy fat and said he could do more push-ups than him. It really seems like he's losing it.
He's been losing it for a while, man. He's been on record on quote saying that if an intruder comes into your home, all you need to do is shoot your shotgun in the air and scare him off. And it's funny because he's so ignorant to the whole like gun law thing, is that's actually illegal to do. Warning shots are illegal to do. You're only allowed to shoot your gun in self-defense in a life or death situation to protect yourself or your property. So how would you shoot your rifle into the air to scare somebody off? That would be illegal, number one. And number two, what would that actually accomplish other than wasting your ammunition when you should be pointed at the bad guys? But anyway, so he's an idiot. Bottom line.
Yeah, so, and I guess that's the majority of my talking points. I guess what I could say to the people is that, and a lot of people already know this, but there's a lot of things the news won't tell you guys. You really got to decipher through the bullshit. There's a plethora of information ever expanding on the internet, and a lot of monetary incentive to put out information. Like I said, the most valuable thing that can be sold is an idea to someone. So I would just...
What do you think of Dr. Greger?
What was that?
You said you grew up in a family of medical professionals. What do you think of Dr. Michael Greger, the vegan doctor?
I mean, I don't know too much about him. I mean, he looks gaunt, right? He doesn't really look like someone you want to take health advice from.
Yeah.
I mean, his website's linked with that ADA statement. So, I mean, a person like that, you gotta be curious. How do people make it into the mainstream? They don't just let anyone in there. There's some sort of reason why that person's there the majority of the time.
The way that these people rise to fame is very questionable. Like a Michael Greger, like how is he the guy? Like you said about selling your soul out. How is he the guy out of all the vegan doctors? Like even Joel Kahn makes more sense, or any of these people. But why is Michael Greger the guy? Because he wrote a book. And then you got Earthling Ed. Why is Earthling Ed the guy?
Early, right? Like he was doing the stuff 2-3 decades ago. Maybe that, like he saw the expandability of veganism back then and hopped on the train early, sold his soul real quick.
I guess so, but if you watch and like you said about science changing whenever it feels like it to suit the agenda, his live speeches like 6-7 years ago, that's what I watched in order to become vegan. I was like, this guy, Michael Greger, he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to follow his advice. He seems to have the best understanding of how to be plant-based and be healthy about it. He talks about eating the omega-3s and like the homocysteine buildup and all this stuff that was very, very new at the time. And it was thought to believe that those new concepts he was talking about, specifically the omega-3 imbalance in the human body, was specifically the reason why some vegans were having long-term mental issues, was because of those things. And he made it sound like, oh, we've got our finger on the issue now. No, not to worry. Take your B12, take your omega-3s. You're good to go. You're done. You're good to go. And it's like, hold on a minute. Like, you just came up with this theory, and all along you've been saying the vegan diet was healthy, healthy, healthy. Now people are having mental issues, and now you're telling us, oh, forgot about the damn omega-3s. That'll fix it. Like, how do you know that? How do you even know that we're going to absorb it in the first place? They're just making this shit up on the fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, veganism to me is it was crafted very precisely. It plays on the emotions of what I believe to be good people that want to see a positive change in the world, but they're manipulated and misguided to follow this agenda. A lot of the time what I see is, maybe not in the case of you and maybe not even the case of me, but I've spent a lot of time around vegans as you have, and a lot of them seem to have a harder time forming human connections. So they settle with having animal connections. Animals provide unconditional love. They don't get mad at you. You just pet them. They like you. And it's kind of an identity crisis too. It really makes, it's the triple whammy they hit you with. It's like, well, do you care about yourself? Yeah. Do you care about the environment? Yeah. Do you want your ethics and morals in alignment with your soul? Yeah. Well, go vegan, otherwise you're a fucking bigot and you actually don't care about any of that stuff. That's kind of what they hit you with. And it's very aggressive. It's an extreme play on emotion. And it's just disheartening seeing the corruption that still exists in this world and what's growing.
I agree with you, man. And that's kind of why I'm here doing what I'm doing, is because, I think that is how I feel about it exactly. And I feel like there's people that are trapped in it that haven't figured their own way out of it. And I don't know, man. I don't know what happened to me. I just got lucky, dude. I just decided one day I'm jumping on this carnivore thing. I'm going to try it out. I'm cooking steak in my vegan house. I don't care what anybody thinks. And it's weird because I hear this excuse from a lot of people that their local community is what makes them leave veganism. For me, it was the opposite. Like, you start getting vegan community around you and they keep you staying vegan, basically, or they want you to stay vegan.
It's
exactly.
hard to pull yourself out of an echo chamber.
Exactly.
And the thing with me, when I was vegan, if I had any of the information, even a quarter of the information I have now presented to me, I would have never been vegan in the first place. But at the time, my ex-girlfriend watched a few of the or my then girlfriend, a long-term relationship, she watched a vegan documentary, went vegan overnight. I watched a few of them, played on my emotion. I went pescatarian for a month and then eventually vegan. But something that kind of separates me from other people is we talk about strong immune systems and whatnot. I grew up with a very weak immune system. Living in a professional household, parents working late hours. I had to feed myself from a very young age, and that just consisted of microwave meals, TV dinners, just a lot of grains, which pretty much destroyed my gut. And after transition, and I have a lot of allergies because of that. So I'm allergic to bananas. I'm allergic to every single nut, every single seed. I have an oral allergy to avocados. And my list of what I could eat from vegan foods was very small. My dad has celiacs. I probably, have some sort of gluten intolerance too that I feel at times. And there was just such a small amount of whole foods that I could actually eat. And at the time, similar to you, I was riding my bicycle too, upwards of 150, 200 miles a week. I was a bike messenger. And for the first few months, I felt fantastic. And there's kind of this saying amongst the carnivore community that you're burning through your stored vitamins. And I kind of believe that. I felt amazing, for like 2-3 months. And then eventually my energy levels just plummeted. And I really started getting involved with drugs to keep me up. And later on down the line, I wasn't even eating healthy vegan foods. I was kind of just like, fuck it, I'll eat whatever. Gardein, whatever it may be. And after that, those started, like, I eat the food and I shit it out halfway the way it came in, like beans, the Gardein, I could see it. And eventually this veganism manifested itself, or I allowed it to, into an eating disorder to where I was basically starving myself for upwards of a year. I started eating meat, but I felt extremely guilty So I'd go, a few days without eating and maybe binge on some meat every once in a while. But February of this year, I was watching a Vegan Gains video, still of the vegan mindset, and Frank Tufano was recommended in my newsfeed. And I had saw him a little bit previously in a debate that he did, and I clicked the video with the intent thinking, man, this guy's stupid. I'm going to shit on him. I'm going to confirm my bias. This guy's he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I watched 2 of his videos and my mindset was completely changed.
Yeah, I've been there.
Like, it's a good thing to be open-minded, but not impressionable. You have to be able to separate the two. And Frank just, like you said, he's an actor. Sometimes he's kind of got a bit of an ego too, but he's a good guy at the end of the day. And he cares about people's health, and he cares about this corruption that we see in the world. And just the simplicity of the things that he said just resonated with me on a level I hadn't really thought about before.
Yep, it goes back to the simplicity. Like you said, it shouldn't be complicated. If you need to study your diet for hours and hours a day and you still can't figure it out, then how are you supposed to ever have figured it out in the mainstream or like in nature? Like, you think that cavemen knew how to supplement B12 and all this crap? No, they just ate whatever they could, and that happened to be probably meat. I don't know if you have a minute here, but I want to watch this video that was recommended to me by Really Organic the other day. I think it goes along well with what you said about the being allergic to the foods. I want to show the people this, and I don't know if there's a way you can watch along too on your end, but I'm going to play it. It's 5 minutes long. I don't know if you have the time for that.
Sure. No, I got all the time in the world, but I don't want to hold up the lines. But yeah, okay. I'll listen in.
Well, then we can end the call here, but I'm going to play this after our call, and I want to show people because they're still talking about SIBO. And it's a video. It's called Why Plant-Based Diet Doesn't Work for Everyone. She just made this yesterday. It's a really big channel, Plant-Based Science London. It's a really cute little video. It's got little sound effects, and she's got this posh London voice. And of course, the video has like 99% likes on it because all the vegans are echo chambering in there. But it's like this thing SIBO. Like, they just came up with this thing called SIBO like a year ago. Nobody even heard of SIBO.
Yeah,
like this new thing.
Science. And then new science is being set in stone as fact.
Right.
And
yeah.
Like you said earlier, we're overcomplicating simple truths to life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the internet is doing. Like, although we have this abundance of information at hand, it's also convoluting it too at the same time.
Too many options.
Yeah, and it's just, family. And if you look, I was studying economics for a while in university, and the way, like basically back in the day, a man could work a job and provide for his whole family. Now the man and woman need to each work a job, maybe even work a second one, and the kids are being raised by the internet. And who's really guiding them on that? It's the people with money, advertisements.
Yeah, it is true, and it's becoming even more, filtered. Like on YouTube, you can barely say anything anymore. People with millions of subscriber channels are getting 100% demonetized because of what they talked about on their channel. Whereas for years they've been perfectly fine, and now again, it comes down to the sponsorship and the money. And I bet you that I just have this feeling that the carnivore channels are going to get demonetized before the vegan channels do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't see the vegan channels having any issue. What's that?
If the vegans even get demonetized, I don't think they will. And in a broader sense, what I see in this world is, or at least in the United States, is these, dysfunctional families. They're trying to take away the guns. They're trying to rewrite the First Amendment. There's questionable things in our food and our water supply. It's just awfully suspicious once you start getting into the information, guys. And
true.
It's hard not to keep a fatalistic view of the outcome of the future, honestly. But you got to keep your head up, spread the word to people you love, people you encounter, and that's it.
Nature is immoral and unfair. Nature is immoral and unfair. So just remember why, it is what it is kind of thing. But hey, Sid, appreciate the call, bro. I'm going to watch this video with everybody now. If you tune in, I'll show you. It's basically lists all the foods that you just mentioned and then some. So it's like what are you supposed to eat on the vegan diet to cure your SIBO? Like, basically, she's saying that you have SIBO, and that's why veganism isn't working for you. But in order to cure your SIBO, you have to quit every food on the vegan diet. So what the hell is she really telling us here? She's telling us that all the foods.
You don't have to do that. You just have to contact Goji Man for a $600.
He's the one guy in the world that can save you. Yeah. And he doesn't look that healthy himself. I mean, Jesus Christ, I eat factory farm meat all day long with store-bought milk. Please, let's stand side by side and see who looks healthier.
I think Goji Man kind of replicates peak human performance.
Okay, I have to agree with you.
I appreciate it, Drew. I appreciate you having me on. I'll tune into the stream. I'm starting up my own YouTube channel too,
nice.
Sid Meister. Eventually, I'll put in some videos and hopefully get connected with you guys.
Cool, man. Sounds good. Make sure you stick around the chat and just post up your YouTube when you do, okay?
All right. Take care, guys.
Take it easy, buddy. Okay, for those of you that don't know, that was Sid Meister. He's been a supporter of the channel for a very long time. Now I want to show you guys this video that we were just talking about. It's from Plant-Based London. It's called Why the Plant-Based Diet Doesn't Work for Everyone. And, of course, it's just the most bogus crap.
In the last year or so, we've seen...
Look at the likes to dislikes ratio here. I mean, that is like full-on echo chamber. There's like a 98% like ratio.
Many vegans abandoning a vegan diet because of digestive issues. And so understandably, people are asking, if a vegan diet is so healthy, why do so many run into gut issues? Well, when you look into some of these ex-vegan stories, most say that they had bad digestion or failing health prior to a plant-based diet, but that this diet then made them worse. More often than not, many suffering from digestive problems may actually have something called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth.
May actually have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. More often than not. More often than not. Do you hear this? Is she a doctor? Have you ever met anybody with SIBO? Have you ever heard of SIBO in your life? Have you ever... ask a doctor if they know what SIBO is. I bet you they'll tell you they don't even know what that is.
More often than not, many suffering from digestive problems may actually have something called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. For those suffering with SIBO, foods that contain oxalates, salicylates, and histamines are going to be a...
Literally exactly what Goji Man says. Exactly the same way he says it. Oxalates, salicylates, and histamines. How many times have you heard Goji Man say that? He says that exactly that way in exactly that order every single time.
Huge problem for those people until the SIBO is dealt with. Just look at this.
Look at this list of food. It's like everything. Everything. You can't eat berries. You can't eat pickles. You can't eat goddamn grapes. What are you supposed to eat? Oranges? Gone. Can't have them. Almonds, apricots. Nope. Cucumbers? Fucking cucumbers. You can't have cucumbers. That's like water.
Foods high in salicylates.
Histamine-rich foods. Sauerkraut. Dried fruits. Avocados. Eggplants. Spinach. Soybeans, chickpeas, and lentils. Okay, that's like all your protein right there in the end. Everything that contains protein. Soybeans, chickpeas, lentils. That's 99% of the protein on the vegan diet right there. Can't have them. Can't have them.
And oxalates.
And then histamine release. Bananas. Bananas. You can't eat bananas on the antihistamine diet. No tomatoes, no wheats, no beans, papayas. Fucking papayas? How are you not supposed to eat papayas?
I don't even know where to start, dude. I'm still reintegrating into my reality or whatever.
Sid Meister, thank you for the 10 bones, baby. Appreciate having... Hey, that was a good conversation. I really enjoyed talking to you. And then, of course, nuts and all this other crap. Let's keep going.
Which make up a huge part of a plant-based diet. Now you can see why a carnivore diet will temporarily relieve symptoms because you're removing foods such as beans, spinach, nuts, berries, etc. But it's not actually doing anything to address the underlying problem, and you're setting yourself up for serious health problems down the road on a carnivore diet. Dr. Michael Greger has found that 1 in 100 people have seen.
Dr. Michael Greger has found. Okay, I've heard enough. I've heard enough. You guys get the point, right? You guys get the point, right? You can't, basically, everything that is in a vegan diet has made you sick. You can't eat any of it anymore to heal what the vegan diet did to you in the first place. You want to watch it? Shit. You want to keep watching it? All right.
Celiac disease. 1 in 1,000 have a wheat allergy. Roughly
Why is it doing this to me? Why?
1 in 100 have a gluten sensitivity, and 1 in 20 have a nightshade sensitivity. So you can see how for those people who are unaware of their sensitivity.
White potatoes, tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplants. Can't have any of these, guys. What can you eat on this?
Going on a plant-based diet filled with whole wheat pasta,
what can you
bread.
This is absurdity. Hang on, I'm gonna try and skip back.
Fine for them, but if you look at the actual science, smoking on average is really bad because about 8 years off your life and increases risk. Blah blah blah. We know that, right? So it's just like wearing a seatbelt won't guarantee you're not going to die in a car crash, right? Someone can say, "Well, I knew someone wore the seatbelt died in a car crash." Well, yeah, that's not an argument against wearing a seatbelt because we know that reduces our risk, and that's why we do it. And the same thing with a healthy diet. No guarantee that you're not going to get cancer or diabetes or whatever, but dramatically reduces risk. Just like 1 in 10 people get lung cancer, never smoked in their lives. And so
the vegans can make that song. Oxalates, salicylates, histamines, Goji man, send your poop in. Send it to Goji man. Oxalates, salicylates, histamines.
Most likely to improve my health and
get rid of your SIBO.
Longevity period. Now, it's great to have that inner, we hear about all the data, and it's nice to have that personal experience. And that's why I encourage people, look, give it a couple of weeks, right? Like the 21-day Kickstart program from Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. And again, it's just like, well, give it a couple of weeks, give it 3 weeks, right? Give it a try. You'll never know how good you feel until you try it. And even if you're healthy, right? Even if you're not battling some disease, so you're getting, lab work before and after, because then we can really show you.
I've heard enough. Let's hear the closing remarks. Gotta close this. It's freaking out. It's freaking out on me.
Or if you were allergic to citrus, for example, you just ate meat, all of a sudden you feel so much better. It's not the meat. It's all this. Little did you know that, you're just intolerant of X, Y, or Z.
Little did you know you were allergic to oranges, to orange juice. I've never heard of anybody being allergic to orange juice, but anyway, I did have a friend who became allergic to bananas after a certain period of time. This thing's freaking out. Okay, that's enough of that. So I'm going to catch up with the chat here real quick. Yeah, I saw that Real Organic. It's popping. The chat is popping. The live stream is popping. Thank you, all you newcomers. This is the highest amount of viewers we've had for a call-in stream. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Take a quick shout out to all you new people. And if you're new in the chat and you've been lurking around a little bit, I want you to just throw in a hi. Just you don't even have to ask a question or anything. Just say hi, Drew. Hi, Drew. That's it. Just want to see a new name in the chat. Sierra, Brighton, hello. We have Hero Damon. That's a new. Long-Legged Ape, what's up? Clown Mazard, that's a familiar name there. Subbed, Pet Ninja, what's up? I love these new peeps up in here. Welcome. Beautiful. I love it. React to Wilkes versus Cresser. We're going to do some more live calls. That's going to be the purpose of this stream today. The Wilkes versus Cresser. Oh, it's so boring, dude. It's so boring. There's other people who are better experts at debunking and diving into the science. You feel me? It's just not really my thing. Because, again, vegans already sold me once. I'm not buying their bullshit twice. But anyways, I still leave a 1% chance open for it. Soft Girl Speaks, hello. Alias, Omnivex, Amber, Kanenas, Andy, Jess, Itamar, Green Tea, Ranch. Wow. Got all kinds of people. The lurkers, stay lurking. I love you guys. More live calls. All right, let's bring it in. All right, here's the number, guys. First come, first serve. Anybody's welcome to call. I don't care if you're vegan. I don't care who you are. Just let's talk about food, veganism, ex-veganism, carnivore, all that type of stuff. Fitness if you want. Talk about, digestion. That's my favorite. It's my favorite. So I posted the number in the chat, 714-922-0637. What's up, Amber? We got 2 Ambers. You think Wilkes is working with Cresser to debunk Togan? Who the hell's Togan? Yeah, Carnivore. You can call him, bro. Let's do it. What's going on? We got a poppin' live stream right now. You're coming into the hot zone. Come here. She got her ears pierced. She got her ears pierced.
Just got them done.
Look at her. Mia, say hello. Hello, I'm a baby. Say I'm a baby. Oh. Fresh ears pierced? Guys, look at her. Look at her. Mia, look that way. Ah. You guys like it? That's old school, huh? 5-month-old with her ears pierced? What are you doing, Mimi? Mimi, look. She's grabbing the mic. Say hello. You guys make sure you call in at 714-922-0637. Mia, look at the camera. Up there, Mimi. She's 5 months old? 6 months old? 5 months old. She's smiling. She's looking at herself in the screen. Are you so smart? Are you smart? Oy. Hello, how are you doing? I haven't seen her all week. Can I have the baby? This is my brother's daughter. My niece. She just drooled all over me. You guys see that? Mimi, are you having fun? She loves it. Can I have the baby? Somebody wants her baby. Mimi, do you want to go with them?
Happy little carnivore.
She's a happy little breast milk drinker, aren't you? 100% breast milk so far. She hasn't had a bite of regular food yet. She's only an animal consumer. Did she cry with her earrings?
Yes.
She did cry. She didn't like it, apparently. She's fine now, though.
It's only been an hour.
Oh, really? Oh, she's healed. That's what the carnivore diet does. When you're animal food only.
Her name's Mia.
Mia. Mia, look up here. Mia, look. Look up there. Drew, you just gained like double subscribers. That's good.
Carnu Baby. That's a good name.
Carnu Baby. Mia likes me, but right now I can't give her full attention. All right, I'm going to go back to the chat. Here you go, baby. Mia says bye, guys. Baby hand. Bye-bye. Okay. All right, so we're going to post the chat. We're going to post the phone number in there once again. 714-922-0637. Next caller is welcome to come on the show, and I will pick it up. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just have to freestyle this solo the whole time. We can do whatever. The baby stole the thunder, man. God damn it. She's so cute. He might come back in later. Yeah, Mia is welcome on the camera anytime. They love her. They said everybody loved the baby cameo. Everyone is too shy? What are they shy about? I want a baby. Uh-oh, we got a call. Here we go.
Call from
Carrie Hoffheimer.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello, you're on the air. How you doing?
Hi, I'm well. I'm a little nervous to call, but I do have a big question, and I'm having trouble going from vegan to non-vegan, and I don't feel well. I've been vegan for just 1 year and 3 months, but I keep trying to I bought some grass-fed beef, and I've made
Hang on
some
one
things.
second. Your mic is kind of moving closer and further from your mouth. Can you? It's hard to hear you a little bit.
Is it better now?
I think so. And can you give me your first name again?
Terry.
Terry. Okay. Okay, go ahead. You said you've been vegan for a long time, and you've been trying to continue on?
Yes. I've been vegan for about a year and 3 months, and moving from having an eating disorder when I was younger, but kind of doing better, and then I went vegan, and now I'm just feeling under the weather and trying to, I know I need to eat some meat and some animal products, but when I purchase them, the smell, I also make them for my boyfriend, and I just can't seem to force myself to eat them. And I know that's really ridiculous, but I don't know. How did you just dive in and eat something animal product based? I mean, I'm just having trouble making that switch to see if I feel better.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll start here. Why do you think you need to eat animal foods now?
I have noticed since I've been vegan, I've become, at first I felt really great, but I've become extremely sensitive to touch and sound, and situations make me upset more easily. Like my anxiety has gone up. So I just feel, I don't feel as chilled out and even keeled as I would like.
Gotcha.
And
okay, so is there any physical symptoms other than like the anxiety and your mood? Is there anything else going on? Weight? How's your skin, teeth, hair, digestion? Anything else there? Muscle mass? Can you give us some progress on that?
Yeah, pretty good. I look pretty good. I feel just a general malaise, weaker than I used to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I've done the research and know about the supplementation, all that, but it's just not working.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the vegan, I'm depleted of something or other, or many things. And I look at, for instance, you look healthy and vibrant and strong, and I just would love to be more like that.
Okay. So how to eat. So what are you trying to eat right now that's kind of grossing you out? And have you attempted to try something like fish or eggs or something like this yet?
Yes, what I've been trying to do lately is buying the grass-fed beef, and I keep thinking I'm going to have some, and I just cook it for my boyfriend, and he has it, and I just kind of shy away from it. And I've tried some omelets and some scrambled eggs, and the smell of salmon or tuna is really strong for some reason.
Yeah.
So
it is strong.
What is that?
Okay. Say that again?
Oh, I just feel kind of stuck.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you are making these foods, how are you preparing them exactly?
For the grass-fed beef, I tried to make chili. Well, I made chili, and I used lots of vegan food in there. I used black beans and pinto beans and kidney beans and corn and tomato sauce and all of that. And I thought maybe because it had so many different flavors, and I used the chili powder, which you said maybe sometimes the spices can be bad, but I thought I'd be able to eat it because it wouldn't seem so meat oriented being chili, but I don't know. I just couldn't get over the hump of eating it. I don't know what my fear would be, but I know it sounds ridiculous.
No, it doesn't sound ridiculous. Like as a vegan, there's like a massive anxiety to eat your first bites of food. You know, it's you've obviously made the decision to go vegan at one point, and it's totally understandable. It's totally understandable why you would feel that way. I was there too. I never craved animal foods as a vegan. I never thought about meat. I was totally fine not eating it. And even to the point where, you know, the smell didn't intrigue me or anything like that until I made the decision, okay, I'm going to eat this. And then I was like, you know what? It does smell good, but we'll get to that in a second. So I understand that whole anxiety thing before you eat it.
Yeah, it's real.
Well, I think that you probably want to just experiment potentially. I mean, there's so many ways to get into it. I mean, you could do a sandwich. You could have like ham and turkey, like just something that maybe reminds you of like some childhood dish that you liked that seems real simple, just to help you get over the hump. I'm not saying that's the healthiest option, but you know, not everybody's going to just dive right into a, you know, 1 pound ribeye their first meal. You know, some people, they have a little bit more of a, you know, it's like getting into the cold pool. You want to stand on the steps first, and then you want to dive in a little deeper to your waist, and then you go, you know, dunking your head under the water type of thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. I heard when Raw Alignment in that Game Changers documentary, she said that when she had some smoked salmon one night breaking her veganism, the next morning she felt this sense of just being calm and at ease, and that was part of what intrigued me about trying to go out of my shell. But I could see that. We used to have paninis when I was little with meat. And
well, do you like smoked salmon? Have you ever had it out of the package like that? Do you know what that? Have you had that?
I've had it. It's salty, but not. I haven't had much of it. I'm willing to try. It's just such a hump to get over. I bet once I do it, I'll be happy. But I just I've been putting this off for a bit, and it's right around the holidays too. There's meals and things that I'd like to be able to partake in, and all of that. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I'm not alone. I hope I'm not alone.
You're so not alone. And again, this is precisely the situation you're in are the people that I most desperately want to help, because you guys want to make the transition, and you guys, for some reason, there's something that got locked into your brain. You were a good little vegan. You did what you were supposed to do, and they got you. They locked you into that mindset, and your body's desperately asking for that food, physically speaking, but mentally and emotionally is where you're hung up. And I totally get it. I totally understand it. You know, like you said, you can't even take your first bite. So I would just suggest, you're definitely not alone on that. There's many people out there that are in the same boat, and just start with something that you can stomach, that does make sense to you. Even eggs would be an amazing place to start. A bite, some smoked salmon would be amazing. I know you said cooking the salmon is probably a little too intense right now, and I totally get that. But maybe you want some cheese. Maybe you want to start with some dairy.
Yeah.
Because that's easy. Trust me. Go get yourself some yogurt. If you like ice cream, go get some regular ass ice cream. None of this bullshit, like, you know, organic stuff. Go get like the straight up Dreyer's ice cream from, you know, Save-On or whatever, and buy a pint of that and just have some bites of that and be like, oh my God, I can do this. Wow. And then your body will just kick in, and it's like, okay, now what's next?
Did you feel different? I'm sure you've spoken of this on different videos, but did you feel different right away, or was it like a process getting used to it?
Everybody that I know, that I personally know, that jumped ship over from veganism, long-term veganism, over to eating animal foods, everybody had a profound effect within 12 hours of some kind. Every single person. Tim Sheaf had a wet dream. Elise, like you said, she woke up the next morning feeling calm and amazing. She was in really bad shape. She was really sick, almost like to the point of like anorexia type sick. Megan Elizabeth woke up the next morning feeling calm for the first time in months. She said she was waking up crying every day for months. Her boyfriend had to sit there and try and figure out what was wrong with her every morning. She needed like time to wake up. And she said the next morning, after she ate like I don't know what she started with. I don't know if she ate steak or what, but she said the next morning she woke up like, oh God, I'm normal again. I feel normal. Myself,
Wow.
I woke up at 4 a.m. in the middle of the night. I have talked about this on my channel. I woke up with a very, very, very stiff night erection, and it was incredible because I was literally laughing to myself when that happened, because to me that was the proof, the absolute proof that something was needed there, because how else, you can't call that a placebo effect. I was literally asleep and I woke up out of my sleep with that happening, and it was in pain. I was like, actually, it was hurting. That's how intense it was. So that was my situation. And I had a pound of ground beef and like 3 eggs that night for dinner for the first meal. And I woke up, like 8 hours later, 12 hours later with that situation going on. So to me, that was the confirmation that I needed to be like, all right, yeah, you can go ahead and keep trying this out for at least another 30 days or something,
Yes, that is strong proof. And I'm a little worried that if I do make the change back and start eating meat, that I'm going to go too far in that direction. Or can you go too far limiting everything else? Like you were saying, you eat mostly beef with salt?
Yep. It sounds extreme. I get it. Like, trust me, first of all, I thought carnivore was stupid when I first heard of it. I was like, who's this idiot Sean Baker? This guy's an idiot. I went, I was still totally vegan at the time, living in Hawaii, whatever, like in my vegan household. Everybody's vegan there. And I went to go start researching these people to sort of like debunk them and talk shit in the comments like every other troll. And I started researching this thing. I'm like, wait a minute. When I actually look at these people who are healing from this and feeling much better, their results are better than my own results and the people that I know around me. It's better than their results. So what's I'm a results-oriented person. Like, show me the results. Don't talk to me about the theory day and night. Theory's good. That's a foundation to go try something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't have to believe anybody. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe anybody about what this is going to do for you. Just have an open mind. You try it, and then you let the way that your body feels dictate the direction you take after that. I set out to do 40 days of carnivore when I went from vegan to carnivore because I wanted to feel the difference. And if I didn't have a profound positive effect within the first 40 days, in my mind, I was just going to go back to veganism. But it was pretty clear within a few days that I was going to go a lot further than the 40 days. I was like, okay, I don't know if it's going to be 100% carnivore, because that is pretty restrictive, if I'm perfectly honest with you.
Right.
But it's still going to be very high meat. And to this day, I'm still eating a very, very high amount of animal foods, to the point where I'm only consuming maybe, let's say, 50 grams of carbohydrates a day that are not animal foods based. And we're talking like a hamburger bun on my burger. That's it.
Right. Wow. That's a big change.
Huge change.
I think part of the veganism is a control issue with me, as for a lot of people, because when life seems crazy, you can control something.
Yeah.
And not eating meat was like, it's become a bit of a continuation of an eating disorder that I had earlier. So
did you, let me ask you, did you start out overweight when you went vegan?
No, I was slender, but I was very weight conscious and bits of anorexic thinking in my head, just trying to heal. But I was pretty much a little underweight when I started, and then when I went vegan, I'm still a little underweight, not majorly, but just a tiny bit, probably on the charts. But my BMI is 15%, 15.2%.
Okay. So were you always kind of limiting your food intake in fear of gaining weight before you went vegan?
Yes, I was.
And when you went vegan, was part of veganism's attraction to you that you could eat quote unquote unlimited amounts of calories and not gain weight? Was that something that like, did that speak to you in any way?
It did, but the whole freely durian rider, 1,000,000 bananas a day, I never went like crazy like that. I think the whole fruit sugar, I was more, I've been not so much fruit sugar, but vegetables and lots of soy and lentils and all that. But yeah, I did it. I just started gradually doing it and noticing it was easier to control my weight and be able to eat, you know, several meals a day if I wanted to and not gain weight. So I think it's mixed up with an eating disorder. So that just makes it crazy. But yes.
When I told you to go buy ice cream, how did that make you feel? Was that like a triggering statement? Because I'm trying to learn about eating disorders. I'll be the first to admit I don't know a lot about them.
When you said about the ice cream,
yeah,
I just pictured it, and I don't think I could stop if I started.
Well, I don't want to get you in. I don't want to get you into a situation where you feel out of control. But in my mind, you know, find something that you think would stay in your control. Let's say a gallon of milk, and you would be able to, you know, take that first sip type of thing. And if you are underweight in that way, you know, yeah, again, I don't want to say something that it's gonna harm you long term, but you know, I guess if it was me, you know, and I was just trying to get over the hump, I know that if I was underweight, I would know logically speaking, rationally speaking, that wouldn't make me gain weight overnight or anything like that. It wouldn't be harmful to me in the long term.
Right.
But I have people in the chat that are telling me to be careful with what I say, and it's, you know, with the eating disorder background, it is about control and safety for you, and I want to make sure that I'm not saying something that's gonna, you know, push you off this spiral downhill, because that's not good either.
Oh, don't worry. This isn't my first rodeo with the eating problems, but what you've said has been useful, and just being able to articulate this right now with your live stream is helpful to me to get it out, kind of cathartic. So
that's great.
Yeah, I see people saying a BMI of 15% is anorexic, probably so, but yeah.
Just don't be scared. Like, just know that there was us vegans before you that jumped off the cliff, and we landed, and we're very happy with the results. And you can always go back to eating the plants. You can always go back to eating the plants.
That's true.
Like there's literally no risk. You're not. This isn't like veganism where you put the flag in the sand and you say I'm vegan now, and then if you quit veganism, people are going to judge you. This isn't the same thing. You could go eat whatever you want now, and you're already cooking it for your boyfriend. You know, you're around the smells. He's not going to judge you. That's good. You're going to find it. I'm telling you, you're going to find a better connection with yourself and people around you almost immediately. And guess what? If I'm wrong, you can go back to eating plants. No big deal. Trust me, I'm going to be cool with it.
I love to hear that. And I think most of the people in my life would like to see me relax about this. So, yeah, I just need to jump off the diving board, even in the kiddie pool, I guess. You know,
just whatever gets you that first little bite. You know, I think that with the carnivore movement, there's this whole talk about eating your meat raw and eating your liver raw and all this stuff and sourcing the best, highest quality ingredients. Like, forget all that right now. You're not even anywhere close to needing that in your life right now. Just do the very simple thing. First, whatever's the easiest, literally the easiest thing, whatever, like go get, you know, an ice cream cone from McDonald's if you have to. That's got dairy in it. Now you've broken the seal. You've broken the seal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's over. Like, you can just do what you want after that. You're vegan. You're giving away your vegan chip for temporary time. And you can go eat whatever you want after that and try it out. See how most importantly, to see how you feel inside of your body.
Right. I think I need to do it. I've got, I'm a teacher and I need a lot of energy. So I think it could help not just me, but people around me, you know.
You're gonna find that bit of anxious, nervous neuroticism going on in the brain that's like that freaking, it's like a white noise going on in your head that you don't understand what it is. It goes away because you are eating the fat energy, and it just, things calm down. It happens to me now where if I do eat too much carbohydrate, too much sugar, whatever, I never thought I had that problem before. But now, since I am not eating that stuff, when I do eat it, I notice it now that there is a bit of anxious energy around the carbohydrate intake. I didn't notice it before. I thought it was just energy. I thought I was like fueled up. But now I'm like, it feels like I just drank an energy drink. Something is not right here. Yet when I eat a steak, I feel calm. Not lazy, not tired, calm. It's different.
That's what I want. So I just need to do it.
Someone is saying, look into the emotional freedom technique. Sierra seems to be knowledgeable about this. And other people are agreeing that it's an awesome thing, emotional freedom technique. And yeah, I suggest trying it out. And please, let us know what happens in the chat. Once you do, in the future, I'm always streaming. So make sure you keep up with the channel.
I definitely will. And thank you so much. And thanks to the other commenters, because I see a lot of good stuff there. So
yeah, we're just here to help you out. Yeah, we got you. All right. Thanks, Terry. You're welcome. Have a good night. Okay. That was Terry, guys. Current vegan. She really was struggling to get over the hump of eating her first animal foods, and struggled with a bit of eating disorder, anorexia in the past. Some of those mental thoughts, I think, are creeping into the way she is approaching the animal foods. It's usually people with some kind of eating disorder that struggle with it, whether they start out overweight or underweight. That's what I've seen people struggle with the most to get off of the vegan diet, because they think the vegan diet helped them so much when it wasn't the vegan diet.
Call from. To accept, press 1.
Hello.
Come the fuck up, you fucking shit cunt.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Durin Rider fan. Appreciate that. We'll go ahead and move on. I had a feeling that was how that was going to go. Remember to carb the fuck up, guys. Carb the fuck up. 714-922-0637. That is the phone number if you would like to call in. I'm ready for the next caller. Yeah, carbing up didn't work for me, my man. I carbed up for 4.5 years. I did the Raw Till 4 diet specifically for about 3 years out of the 4.5 years. And yeah, I was weaker than I should have been. I was more skinny fat than I should have been. My digestion wasn't as good as it could have been. Could I ride a bicycle 100 miles a week and have energy to do it? Yeah, I could. I sure did. But it wasn't good long-term for the health. Teeth were a mess. Teeth were an absolute mess. You little skinny bike riding vegans, I bet you your teeth's messed up out there.
Call from.
Lance.
Lance.
Hey, Drew.
Lance, how's it going, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good. What are we talking about today?
Well, I saw your stream the other day with Rob Bliss. I was kind of hoping you'd get to him a little bit more than you did.
He was in the channel earlier.
I've been keeping up with his channel, and doesn't look like he's changed at all. So it was a good stream, though.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram, and I was, I'm just interested in his lifestyle. The goal of that stream wasn't necessarily to get to him. That wasn't really my plan. I know that, Tristan really wanted to speak to him directly about that, and was, Tristan told me after that stream that he bawled his eyes out. He cried like a baby, he said, after he got off stream. And a lot of people pointed out that, he looked emotional on the stream, but I've been in his situation. I just know it's not going to change overnight like that. I'm happy with planting a seed, which will get to him hopefully sooner than later. But, I also wanted to sort of dissect his rationale behind what he's doing. And a lot of times when somebody's in that situation, I found that letting them talk through why they're doing what they're doing, what their reasoning is. A lot of times they kind of find that once they feel like they can get their point across to somebody, they kind of move on from it. You know, they're like, okay, I've kind of proven my point. What's next? So hopefully it's a phase for him.
Yeah, I like how you handled it. You took a different approach than I thought. I was probably more from Tristan's point of view,
right?
But which I'm not saying that's the right point of view, but yeah, it's just hard to watch because he seems like such a great guy, and hopefully, things look up for him. But
here's what I've noticed with these guys.
Go ahead.
Let me make a point real quick. Here's what I've noticed with a lot of these fasting guys and these fruitarian guys. A lot of them are crazy, and because they're crazy, they find these fruitarian and fasting ideologies interesting. Rob Bliss seems kind of crazy, and his physical being is a little out of whack, but he's a normal guy beneath that. You could see him. He's normal. He's a normal guy that was overweight, that found something that worked for him, and he stuck with it a little too long. And he is smart enough to find his way out of it, in my opinion. We're not looking at a crazy man who also has this crazy diet because he's a crazy person. Maybe fruitarianism has made him a little bit kookier and slower, because I do see that he struggles with his speech a little bit more than I would like to see with somebody. But in my opinion, he's normal, and he will snap out of it at some point, hopefully, before he gets sick or anything like that.
Sure.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that conversation you were having with that gal just a second ago, I understand how she feels, and I kind of had that same thing. I was vegan for a year and a half, and I didn't know if it'd make her feel any better, but I mean, the day that I switched and, did that same thing, I mean, the feeling that it gave me, I felt like I was high for at least 3 or 4 hours, and was satiated for probably about a day and a half. I didn't feel like I needed to eat. And for me, that was the signal to, make the switch. So
it's crazy how satiating animal foods are.
It's a weird thing how it kind of like sucks you in. And that's what I meant like with Raw Bliss. It like sucks you in, and you don't know how bad you feel until you take that plunge, and then you do it,
Yeah, I think a lot of people are scared, maybe I'm going to feel sick when I try my first bite of meat. Maybe my body's not going to digest it very well. And then so far, everybody that I've come across that has done what we've done, they've almost unanimously had a positive experience even after their first meal.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's something to that. And again, like I said, you can always go back to the plants. So just because you have a steak,
right.
there's
doesn't
no
make you any less of a person because you're going to try meat again, like you said.
Exactly.
So, well, that's all
I think that does make her feel better.
That's all I had for today, but
cool. Well, thanks for calling in, Lance.
Okay. Thanks, Drew.
I'll tell Terry in the chat. All right, thanks, bud. Yep, Terry, see, you're not alone. Another guy, only vegan for a year and a half, and he still struggled with the decision, and he's happy he made the decision. You know what I mean? And I know vegans over 10 years that had to pull the trigger and be like, I was basically wrong for 10 years about what I ate. And it's really a testament to the human body how we can survive on almost anything. But again, survive, not thrive. Because every single one of these people has gone back to animal foods that I know.
Call from
Carla.
Carla, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. What are we talking about today?
I'm full on carnivore now. I used to be keto for a couple months, and it wasn't helping me enough. And carnivore is helping me so much.
Awesome. From what I've seen on the forums, because I'm in a lot of Facebook groups that are carnivore Facebook groups, it seems like a lot of people go from keto to carnivore, and it's like another level for them. And so tell us about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was vegetarian off and on for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got sicker and sicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up eating meat. This non-meat thing is kind of like, I don't know, like it's bad to eat meat. You're a bad person if you eat meat, kind of thing. And that's
right.
Kind of what I feel. But I felt bad eating animals, but like we're at the top of the food chain, so I'm sick and I need help, so they're helping me.
Yeah. Pretty simple, right?
Yep.
Did you try supplementation before you jumped over? Did you
Nope.
take any of that into consideration?
Nope. Nope. I'm taking some collagen that's grass-fed, and that helps, I think. And I'm just doing beef and eggs and some cheese. And I think the cheese is messing me up, but I might quit that. I don't know yet.
Is it raw cheese? Is it flavored cheese? How is it prepared?
No, it's actually A2 cheese.
Okay.
From A2, the cow, the difference, the A1, A2.
I know the A2 is better. I haven't messed with it myself. I buy straight up store-bought milk, factory farm milk.
Yeah, where I live, there's a gal at the farmer's market who sells A2 cheese.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I feel like I can eat that.
Great. Why do you think it's messing you up?
Go ahead.
Why do you think it's messing you up?
I'm gluten intolerant, and a lot of gluten intolerance are lactose intolerance too.
Okay, got it.
And sometimes I can eat cheese, and sometimes I can't. It's really weird. Like if I eat regular cheese, I'm like, it feels like it helps trigger my IBS.
Got it. Did you catch what I was saying earlier about spices kind of being an underlying factor of IBS?
Don't do any.
Right.
I just do salt on my meat. That's it.
Okay, I'm in the same boat now, and it's honestly great. Now take this for what it's worth. Have you heard my whole spiel about raw garlic recently?
No, not at all.
Well, I've been kind of researching more underlying gut problems because one of the things I'm willing to say that the vegans were sort of right about is that being carnivore doesn't necessarily heal your underlying sort of intolerance to carbohydrate foods. Now, maybe it'll be the case that I'm never going to be able to eat, white potatoes with peas, but
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
the
I'm trying to.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just saying that I'm trying to figure out if there is some kind of fungal overload in there, like a candida overgrowth. And what I'm trying to do right now is eat like raw garlic, which will kill a lot of the fungus and stuff like that. And then I will go ahead and load up on raw kefir and stuff like that, which will hopefully repopulate the bacteria with good stuff in about 30 days. And then, hey, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Trust me, I'm not losing any sleep over not eating, a vegan diet at this point. So I'm fine with it.
Right. I think there's more to vegetables and grains than people think. And when you show that video about oxalates and all those plants have defenses, and I think for me, IBS, my body can't handle those. And what they are is like they're in the plant so that animals and bugs don't eat them. They eat them and it makes them sick, and they never eat them again. So I don't think enough research has been done on that. And I think that makes me really sick. So my IBS is gone basically after a month. My acid reflux is gone. I had a rash on my body that would not go away. That's gone. And I have some dizziness and had this before, and it's better. It's not completely gone, but it's better.
Well, it's funny because, IBS is almost synonymous. I don't know if you've ever seen that Ben Stiller movie where he's like going on dates, but it's an older movie, and he goes to an Indian restaurant on a date with this woman, and he has to run to the bathroom because Indian food triggers his IBS.
Oh, yeah.
And Indian food is almost synonymous with IBS in people. And Indian food is essentially all plants. It's typically a vegetarian cuisine, and spices. And it's known for its IBS-causing symptoms. So isn't it interesting that basically a diet known for its plant usage and spices is what's causing a lot of IBS, and then when we go and eat similar foods to that, we end up having IBS symptoms.
Well, turmeric is loaded with oxalates, so it makes sense to me.
Right, and that somebody said earlier, they're like, turmeric is great, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about a food being anti-inflammatory that could possibly give you IBS symptoms, like pepper, for one, cinnamon, all these sort of spices that people use. I've had like crazy IBS symptoms from these things before.
Yeah. I found a grass-fed sausage, like a summer sausage, and I grew up in the Wisconsin, and that was one of our staples. And I ate it, and like the next day I was in pain, and it had pepper in it, had peppercorns in it, and I saw them, and it didn't trigger, like, don't eat that, you know. And I suffered for like a day, but that's not bad because usually my IBS would last a week.
Yeah,
I'd get better, and then I'd eat something else, and I'd have another week, like, so it was nonstop.
Yeah, I remember in Hawaii when I first got there, and this was when I was still a vegan. You know, so I arrive in Hawaii and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, there's all this awesome vegan food in town. I'm gonna grab you know, some of these locally made, fresh, you know, fruit drinks off the shelf. So I go ahead and I buy at the local store, which was packaged there in Hilo, was like local peppers, you know, hot peppers. They're like called these Thai spice peppers, mango, pineapple, whatever, right? So I'm walking around town drinking this thing. First of all, it tasted terrible, but that's besides the point. I'm drinking this thing, and my throat started to swell up and was full of mucus like I had never experienced before. I was spitting mucus out onto the sidewalk as I was touring around the town. And it's just like, what do you expect is coming out the back end if your throat has mucus in it when you eat? What do you think is going to happen when you go to the bathroom? Like, clearly that is not being welcomed into your body.
Yeah. Well, I had IBS-C.
What is that?
And it's IBS constipation.
Oh,
There's IBS diarrhea, bad subject, and IBS constipation. And my bowels would just stop.
Wow.
They would just lock up. And I thought, okay, I can't do meat. I'm going to be constipated all the time.
Right.
And it's not true. It's not true. It's better than it's ever been. And I know it's not a good subject to talk about on the radio, but
it's the only subject. It's the only subject that matters. This is the real thing. Like, this is what people don't want to talk about.
Yeah. And so, like, when I was doing the keto and I was feeling better, but I still had the acid reflux and all that. And then I decided November 5th this year, I ate my first steak in about 10 years. I cooked it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so delicious. And I still look at the meat and think, oh, you know, a cow died for me, right? But I'm going to stay with this for a while and see where it goes, because my health is worth everything. And I just feel like in the last year and a half, I've been sick almost every day.
Wow.
So, I got to figure something out. And my friend goes, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'm experimenting on myself. I mean, right? I mean,
here's my kind of theory on this. If we're in a state of good health, we are not thinking about our health.
That's right.
Right? Like, the person who's not sick is not thinking about supplementation. They're not concerned about any of this stuff. They're like, they're living beyond health talk, you know? They're living a life. And this is foreign to most vegans that I've met. And and I don't know if you caught the little John Venus Vegan Gains talk the other day, but Vegan Gains, what's that?
I didn't, but sorry. Yeah.
Well, Vegan Gains tells John Venus that even if a doctor told him he had a month to live and the only way out of it was to eat animal foods, he said he wouldn't do it.
Oh no. Okay.
And that's what we're dealing with here. That's the mentality of what we're dealing with here, and we're in the age of the social media, brainwashing situation where you have influencers that are essentially telling people that they're suicidal over their diet, and that's what we're dealing with, So I'm in a way I give him respect for outright saying that, if that's what he believes, because at least now he's outed himself. We don't have to speculate anymore about what he would do. Now he's saying, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And so we got a super chat.
To start, dude. Like, I'm still reintegrating into.
We got to reintegrate,
my
guys.
reality or whatever.
Thank you, happy wife and mom. She lives in Orange County too. Can't wait to hear about this local beef source. I currently order ButcherBox. Yes, I'll share with you guys in a bit. I'll share with you guys in a bit on that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I don't judge people for what they eat. I mean, I've done everything. I've even tried fruitarian for 2 months, and I lost weight, but I didn't feel good. But when I decided to do this, I walked into the grocery store and I said to myself, wow, I can't eat 95% of the stuff that's in here. Not because it's vegetables, but processed food. It's like it's the worst thing for you, and a lot of vegetarians end up eating a lot of processed food.
Yeah, they all end up there, don't they?
Yep.
Or most of them.
Oh, but anyway.
Have you seen like Fully Raw Christina recently? Do you know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. It's what's interesting to me is the people who seem to kind of look normal and say that they're having good performance, like these vegan bodybuilders and stuff like that. They're eating all the processed food. They're eating the processed plant protein powders with the digestive enzymes and all this stuff. They're the only ones who are able to maintain a sort of normal looking presence. And then usually the people who are on the properly healthy, clean, whole food, plant-based type of program, they're the ones who end up deteriorating, which I find very interesting, that the people who are eating the clean stuff are the ones who look worse over time. And I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I don't know where I heard this, but I heard something about the body needs 20 grams of protein minimum per day.
Okay.
And
As a minimum.
that would be for like a man, that would be like insanely bad. But the thing is, you always hear this plant proteins are as good as animal proteins, and it's just not true.
It's just not true. And
Nope.
Unfortunately, we have people who are representing the fact that you can do that. And they seem to have success with it. Like, let's say a John Venus, who's a massive bodybuilder type of dude. Again, he's eating plant-based protein powders. He's sponsored by the company Vivo Life. They use digestive enzymes within the protein powder. And, me and him talk in DMs all the time. Full disclosure, we're like kind of buddies. We talk behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't come on my show recently or at all yet.
Mm-hmm.
But he says that he could build muscle no problem without it. But I want to throw the challenge out to these guys. Okay, well, show us. None of you guys have done it. You guys are all drinking the plant protein powders. Not one of you guys has a good physique without it. So prove us wrong. You know what I mean? I bet you they will start to lose some of their appearance and their physique.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
gotta do what's right for you, I guess. And like I said, I don't judge anyone for what they eat because I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not about weight loss. I'm just kind of like a very average size, and maybe I could lose 10, 15 pounds, but that's it. It's more about the health thing for me. Feeling good. I want to feel good. I used to row 9,000 meters a day.
Wow.
I can barely walk around the block. Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So you're doing, I mean, you said you were doing keto at first, then you're now on carnivore and it's helping you. What kind of improvements have you seen then?
Well, I just feel like I said on the keto, everything was still there. Nothing was going away. I mean, it was maybe getting a little better, but I'd say 2 weeks into carnivore, my acid reflux was gone. My IBS, my guts felt so much better.
Yeah.
And my rash went away, and my dizziness has lessened. So, I mean, I feel like I'm on the right path. I can walk around the block now. I mean, like, there's no way. Like, there are times I would spend days in bed. I couldn't get up.
Did you have any type of keto flu? Like, when you stopped eating carbs entirely?
No, I don't think so, because before I started keto, I ate pretty well. I didn't eat anything processed. I didn't eat rice. I didn't eat wheat. I didn't eat, I couldn't do the gluten, and then I didn't like the gluten substitute stuff, like the gluten buns or whatever, because that just turns into sugar in your body.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
You eat it and it's like sugar right there. So I think that maybe I had some of that on the keto diet, maybe a little bit on the carnivore, maybe a little bit, but no, because the dizziness has been going on for 9 months. So it's, I don't think that's keto flu.
You upped your salt and it's gone away, or you still have the dizziness?
I have a little dizziness now and then, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm definitely doing Himalaya salt because I like that the best.
Okay.
And I think that's good. I think it works.
Yeah, I think all the salts are probably around the same ballpark. I think that when we get into the salt talk, it's like splitting hairs. But I mean, I just personally use regular salt, sea salt, whatever.
Right. So, but
Cool.
Anyway, I'll let you go because we're talking a long time. It was nice talking with you.
No problem. I appreciate the call. Thank you.
All right. Very good.
Have a good night. Bye. All righty. Well, that was good. Keto to carnivore. Carnivore is a little bit better. That's typically what I've read from people who have done both. Are people getting out of control in the chat? I've seen Chris Grant like a million times. Is he causing problems, Carnivore? Sierra, sorry, I didn't get a chance to ask her about the cause of the dizziness. Sounds like she's had it for a while. Nature Boy. Yeah, I thought it was a salt thing. This is the number, guys. If you want to call in, 714-922-06. Oh, somebody beat you to it.
Call from
Cam.
Cam, this is Drew Morgan. What's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Pretty good, thanks.
What do you want to talk about tonight?
I just wanted to make a comment just about no salt and how easy it is if you're on the raw carnivore diet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just found that there was no need for it, and I removed it for about 8 months, and there are no side effects for anyone who's worried about no salt.
Do you so you eat 100% raw at this point?
Yeah, 100%.
How are you finding it's affecting your mass overall, your body composition?
I'm slowly gaining weight, but I was always not skinny, but I probably could have had more fat. So I've gained total probably 10 pounds over 8 months.
Wow. What's your height and weight right now?
5'11" and about 149 pounds.
So you're maybe a tiny bit skinnier than me, perhaps.
A tiny bit.
Do you lift weights and stuff? What's your workout stuff going like?
I never lifted weights just because I was never overweight, but I've always been active. So I mainly work a lot, but I just ski mostly and swim, but no weightlifting. And the weight that I put on, it's not fat, it's mostly muscle. So you actually get muscle without working out.
Yeah, the raw meat thing has intrigued me. What kind of meat do you eat, and where do you source it from? Because I don't want to eat raw factory farmed meat. I would only eat the really high end stuff if I was going to do that.
Well, I started with grass-fed beef, but it came from Canada, and I thought they're probably just feeding the cows hay in barns during the winter, and it's not that sustainable. So I went on to lamb, and most lamb comes from Australia that gets sold in Canada. And I just found a brand that I like, and so I buy lamb leg, and then I cut it into pieces, and then I dry age it for at least 30 days.
Damn,
before
you got a whole system over there, bro.
Yeah, and also to get healthier, complete fats, I also eat raw quail eggs too, which I can find at one grocery store in my town that sells them.
Okay, so you're doing no salt, you're doing all raw, and you enjoy this. Are you planning to stop at any point, or is this something you want to see how far it takes you?
No plan on stopping, but I have to tell people if they want to try raw, and you buy a steak and you just start eating it right away, that's not very desirable. It's very chewy. You chew on all the silver skin. It's not that tender. Dry aging, the longer you dry age it, the more tender it gets, and it almost seems like it's cooked, just by the texture and everything. And you taste it. It tastes amazing, and it's so easy to chew once it's dry aged. And you can eat the whole outside, so there's no contamination, no bad smell. And lamb turns very bright red on the inside when you dry age it too, which I don't think people realize.
I would imagine that your digestion must just be totally perfect. There's nothing in there when you eat that.
There's nothing in there. It basically feels like you feel energized when you eat, but you don't feel it travel into your system. It basically just goes in and your body goes right to work. And there's
I'm sold.
like zero side effects. And but the thing too, if you are committed to raw, I can't eat cooked meat anymore because I get really bad heartburn immediately if I eat cooked meat now. I didn't get it as bad before, but I get it really bad if I ever try a burger or just a piece of cooked bacon. So I think your system adapts to raw, and it doesn't want to go back as well.
Okay. So back to the salt thing. I do know Paul Saladino is a huge fan. I just literally watched an interview with him the other day where he's talking to Stan Efferding, and they're talking about how much salt one should intake. And Paul is a huge fan of nose to tail and raw as well. I don't know if he eats 100% raw anymore, but he said he's eaten like, how much? I think he said he's eaten like 10 grams of salt a day. Which
10
is,
grams.
Yeah, a lot. A lot.
That's a fair bit. Well, I was eating, salt like Himalayan salt and sea salt when I was eating raw beef.
Yeah.
But it kind of ruined the texture when you put salt on raw meat. It sort of draws out the moisture.
Yeah. Kind of makes it gooey, right?
And it makes it very gooey and kind of almost sticky. But if you put enough salt on raw meat, you start just tasting the salt and you don't really taste the meat anymore.
Yeah.
I tried Himalayan salt like about 2 months ago and just hated it. I kind of reacted a little bit to it, and it made me very thirsty. Like I drank, 2 liters of water that day instead of 1 liter. So it did feel like it made me a bit dehydrated somehow. Or maybe I got a sensitivity to it now.
Cool. I guess just, keep an eye on it if there's any sort of negative repercussions. I think somewhere along the line, especially if you push your body in terms of athletics or weightlifting, that you do want salt for that purpose, like muscular contraction and stuff. But if you're like mostly sedentary and chilling, you could probably get away with not a lot of salt. But I would imagine that if you up your activity levels, you would need the salt. So
perhaps,
don't be
I
going
would,
out there
I would
passing
keep an
out.
eye on it, but just to give people some encouragement, I work 7 days a week, sometimes 24 hours a day. No kind of energy problems, and I can sleep like a light if I need to. Maybe I would need it if I was doing a high activity exercise. For anyone who gets nervous about removing salt, only be nervous if you feel some sort of negative effect, and not just believing what someone might tell you about 10 grams a day or whatever you might need, or animals that will travel 100 miles to find it. Usually those animals don't have enough minerals in the shrubs that they're eating anyways.
Yeah.
So, and those are usually vegan animals. They're not carnivore animals that travel long distance to find salt.
Yeah, like
either.
lions aren't necessarily chowing down on salt cubes or anything like that when they get a gazelle.
No, it's usually just goats that need salt because they live high in the mountains where they're not getting as many nutrients. And I'm sure lions get a bit of salt from the blood in the gazelle or whatever.
Gotcha.
So but yeah, definitely. So that
someone
was all
asked
I
if you
wanted
drank
to
blood. Do you drink blood?
I do, but it's very hard to find because there's only one farm near me, and I can only get it every 3 months. You have to go on a waiting list too.
It's a lot of blood freaks out there, huh?
A lot of blood freaks, but it's not bad. I know that blood it usually just gets thrown away at the slaughterhouse. So the laws in Canada, you can't sell blood, so you kind of have to know somebody and pay them cash.
Nice. You got to get the back alley transactions for your blood.
It'd be hard to have blood in the diet every day, I think.
I love it. All right, man. Well, hey, keep us posted on that, and we will be in touch.
All right, keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, man. Take it easy. Hey, Zach Ramey, 2 double down on the $5 donations. Appreciate that, bro. Let me read these real quick. VG points the finger at John Venus, but Vegan Gains fed his dog animal products, so who is he to talk? Yeah, he gave away that dog, right? He bought it from a breeder a few years ago and then gave it away. So, like, that's the worst kind of person, right? Somebody who buys a dog and then gives it away, can't even have the dog, can't even handle the dog. Real vegan of him. Funny how I keep thinking vegetable police. Funny how Vegan Gains challenges Butterfield to a fight. Then when the guy says, let's go, Vegan Gains says, no, I got injuries at the moment. Vegan Gains challenges Stephanie Butterfield to a fight? Really? Why would he challenge a woman to a fight? What the hell? What a psycho. Dude, you guys messing with me? Vegan Gains challenge a woman to a fight? What the hell are you talking about? Is this real? Anyway, Really Organic, you said something about me saying something bad about factory farm meat. Look, I wanted to point this out today, and I thought about this earlier. I have nothing against grass-fed beef or higher quality beef. It is better. It is better both from a nutritional profile and from a flavor standpoint. And if I could eat it for every meal, I would do that. I want that to be clear. I eat factory farm meat because it's what I can afford reliably and regularly. It's easy for me to get. And I also kind of want to prove a point that you could be really healthy eating factory farm meat. I kind of want to prove a point. And I'm kind of doing that. Now, if I was balling, if I had this YouTube money raining in, which will be happening soon, then I'm eating all grass-fed, baby. I'm about to have a beef supplier. I don't know if Happy Wife and Mom is still in here. Is she? Yeah, she is. Happy Wife and Mom, shout out to you, Orange County mommy, pushing your kid in the stroller with the Bye Bye Baby stroller. Yeah, so the supplier that I have that I got to make a call to, hopefully set up the affiliate with, is in Santiago Canyon. You could take a tour of their ranch. I could set you up with the website. It's called 5 Bar Beef. Super cool guy that runs the thing. If you're interested, you can go down there and check it out. And yeah, the guy's got 1,300-pound bulls right there. Testicles the size of cantaloupes. He says that he keeps them on there because they have full hormone production until the day that they are harvested, and that's the only way to do it. He says that even grass-fed meat that you find on the shelves in the stores doesn't have that. So these are like the cream of the crop, top of the line, healthy cows with full hormones, everything. And when you eat it, you're like, holy shit, it has like a different flavor in it. It's powerful, powerful. Really Organic says, yes, it is better. Okay, Drew Morg. I think the key is that the blue zones prove that we only need a smaller amount of meat than most eat. We get iron toxicity. You can afford 3 steaks a week. I can't afford 3 steaks a week. Trust me. A grass-fed beef is like 3 times more than I pay per steak. It would be literally 3 factory farm steaks per grass-fed steak. I'm not doing it. The blue zones didn't prove shit. I'm sorry. I go by how my body feels. I'm telling you right now, I don't have iron deficiency. I don't have an iron toxicity. Carnivore says, what are the symptoms of iron toxicity? Yeah. Really Organic. You're coming around. You're coming around. You started out your little vegetarian ways. Now you're considering the meat because old Drew Morg told you. Old Drew Morg had to hit you with the flex. Feeling good, eating almost all meat. I feel great. We are making history. If supermarket meat is all you can afford, get it. That's still better than veganism. 1,000%. I spared no expense on vegan food. I spent like $900 to $1,000 a month on vegan food. It's ridiculous. Like I said earlier, I would consider doing a vegan experiment for like 60 to 90 days and to see how I felt after I got my digestion to a point where I could handle those foods again and just to see what would happen. Zach, again with the $5. What's with Vegan Gains? Now he's claiming a guy called Darren Chang is trying to deplatform him. That's his excuse to go at everyone lately. Dude, he always says that. Everybody's trying to deplatform him. So stupid. What a dumb excuse. He's trying to deplatform me. Maybe because you're a fucking dick. You attack everybody. You like Vegan Gains shouldn't be shocked that people are trying to deplatform him or that they don't like him. He's been literally making the worst of the fitness industry hate piece videos since the beginning of time. That was his claim to fame. If you rise up talking shit on people, don't be surprised when they come after you. You know, it's just like, it's kind of the way the world works. Drew, buy the Australian grass-fed. It's affordable. Affordable is relative. I eat for $6. I eat each steak for $6. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, I can barely keep up here. What's going on? I've eaten meat more years of my life than you have. I don't know. I was eating meat for 28 years, and I ate a lot of it too during those years. But I was also eating a lot of crap and drinking a lot, so that's why I kind of felt like shit. What's your preacher bench at? I don't know, dude. What's a preacher? Preacher curls? I have no idea. It would probably be like not much. 20? I curl very, very like slowly 30s with very, very good form. Slow and steady, slow and steady. If I want to be kind of like a cheater, I can curl 45s with a little momentum. That's like the only part of me that's kind of buff looking though. It's my arm. I'm kind of lucky with my arms. That's about it. Everything else is kind of weak. Whatever. Googling goat hair toxicity. Price out the Australian. Isn't ButcherBox Australian? I thought ButcherBox was Australian beef. Drew, a lot of people have issues with pasteurized homogenized milk. No issues noticed. No. I'm on that straight store-bought milk. Whole milk, whatever. I was doing the raw stuff for a while. Decided I couldn't afford that. Then I was doing the lightly homogenized, lightly pasteurized milk, organic, which was $8 a gallon, which is not too bad. But it has like that cream top, and that was kind of annoying me. So then I'm just drinking like the regular stuff now. But I'm probably going to upgrade to organic pasteurized milk because it's like $2 more. I can afford that. I can afford $2 more per gallon. Slow and steady, man. Slow and steady. I found something that works for me now. I'm able to eat enough calories. And on top of that, my workout routine is working. The weight is going up on a consistent basis on the scale. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with these little bad boys. Look at that. I am gaining a little bit of fat though on the stomach. Whatever. Can you talk about any stool change you had going from vegan to meat carnivore? Did you experience any change in size, bulk? Did you notice many changes besides going less? Yeah, you know, the stool firmed up because in my opinion, when you aren't triggering your IBS 24/7 with fiber and spices, your colon has a chance to soak all the moisture out of it, therefore forming a very nice sort of compact stool log. And when it comes out of you, it doesn't make a big old mess because it's not all soft and like, you know, you're not serving soft serve ice cream coming out the back end. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. You want it to actually stay in there for a really long period of time and long enough to get the moisture and nutrition out of it from your colon. You know, you're sort of wasting some calories there if it comes out too soon. Not to mention it's messy and annoying. Long-legged ape says, I am the same height and weight as Drew, similar body fat, but my arms are so much smaller. Yeah, I kind of carry all my fat in my stomach too, so, you know, I don't know. What biohacks do you do? What biohacks are you wondering about, Will Chernikov? I don't believe in biohacks. I don't think there's any way to biohack anything. No, I do like the cream on top of the milk. It's just that, you know, it's kind of annoying to deal with it. I don't like the chunks in my milk. It's all good, Luke. It's all good. General Naughton, what's your lipids? I don't know. I feel good. I've taken blood tests before as a vegan. 2 years into veganism, my blood tests were great. They were all in the normal ranges. High testosterone. I couldn't grow any muscle for shit though. My digestion sucked. My teeth were falling apart. Real Organic says, I've eaten meat for 30 years of my life, but then I saw the truth and I know that we're not supposed to eat our friends. Okay, if they're your friends, then how come if you were to croak dead in your garden and there was a cow in there, he would nibble and eat your ass? If he was your friend, he wouldn't eat you, but he will. So, ab check? Okay, we'll do an ab check. We'll do an ab check. We got to ab check every time. You guys got to, see what kind of guru you're talking to here. Got so many liars on YouTube. Vegan Gains with the big tub of lub, and then he cuts his weight and he feels sick. I feel fine. Let me eat my raspberries in bed. I don't know. I can't move. I need a nap. I gamed all night. My fat grips. My biceps gained a ½ inch. Yeah, right. Here, ab check. See, they're going away. They're going away. My abs are shrinking. It's true. But I'm cool with it right now. I haven't trained abs very directly recently. I don't know if I told you guys, but I got like a little miniature back injury. Okay, very, very miniature. So I can't really do like hanging leg raises right now because my lower left back is kind of tweaked out. It's getting a lot better. So hopefully I can get back to the real shit soon, like squatting and deadlifting and hanging leg raises. Smacks belly. I love it. I'll smack the belly. Yeah, Charles. All you need is huge biceps, dude. Roll around in a tank top, all fat, but you got huge arms. That's like classic beach dude. Yeah, my abs are just whatever. They've always been kind of just whatever. I carry almost all my fat in my abs, unfortunately. Can't have it all. You pass the ab check. Yeah. My abs were the strongest when I was doing calisthenics. They were like the thickest, but you know. I'm trying to grow my legs right now too. I'm definitely hitting leg day. I'm all about the legs right now. I'm still doing squat machine and stuff like that, even without doing actual squats. I'm addicted to squats. I love working my legs now. Flat stomach and arms, you get by pretty good as far as aesthetics goes. I was not doing conscious calisthenics. No. Chubby Drew? Oh, God. You've triggered my eating disorder. I'm not eating anymore. I'm done. I'm done. Going back to veganism. I'm triggered. My eating disorder has been triggered. I'm fasting now. I'm going on a 7-day dry fast in memory of Robert Lockhart. You guys will see me next week. You'll see it next week. Seeking truth in Christos. $2 donation with nothing written. Thank you so much, my brother. I think you're a brother. Maybe a madam. I don't know. Long-legged ape. Drew, interesting, Drew. My abs were the strongest when I was breakdancing, which has similar... Yeah, exactly. Anything like body weight where you're controlling your body through space, that's definitely going to...
And here comes a real steak. But just look at the texture of this thing.
Yeah, F in the chat. F's in the chat. Yeah, breakdancing. Anytime you're moving your body through the air, doing ring work, because I was doing a lot of pull-ups on the rings. I was doing, tricep? I don't know, dips on the rings. Yeah. Drew, have you been hitting them overhead presses? Yes, that's the first exercise I do every day when I go into the gym. I've been doing a lot more lightweight stuff, though. I haven't been doing the heavy stuff, because like I was maxed out at 5 reps with 95 pounds on the bar. And that's as much as I could do on the overhead press in a row, 5 reps. And then so I've lowered it down significantly only to 65 pounds total. But I do like 10 or 12 reps very, very slowly and very controlled. Number one, I'm finding that it mitigates injury a lot better. Number two, it's giving a lot deeper burn and contraction of the muscle. And I'm feeling like I'm getting a much better workout in terms of hypertrophy. So, yeah. I bet you there was a real steak that John was eating in the restaurant. I don't know about that. Some like Israeli vegan restaurant. Dude, ring dips are insane for, yeah. F's in the chat, guys. Love it. Love it. My gamers out there. Lightweight is way better for joints, dude. Just do a little bit more volume. And trust me, I'm not going easy in there. I'm like, I work myself. I thought it was going to be different than it is. I didn't think I was going to see any type of progress, but it's pretty clear that volume is good. It's working for me for sure. Okay, I think we took enough calls today, guys. I'm going to shut down the call situation. We'll tidy it up here for the last few minutes. Thank you all for joining today. We'll kind of just slowly outro here. We still got about 140 people, 135 people. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe if you haven't already on the channel. I really appreciate it. I love doing these live call-in shows. I think it's a unique situation that allows people who maybe want to make a YouTube channel or want to have a social media presence to kind of speak up and get their feet wet a little bit, which I think is really cool.
And here comes a real steak. But just look at the texture of this thing.
No, I'm kidding. Really organic. I'm not going to worry about gaining some weight right now. General Naughton says, "What is your lipid panel?" I already told you, buddy. I don't know. I'm not going to take a blood test anytime soon. And Seeking Truth in Christ, $2. Thoughts on IGF-1 and cancer. This is a technical, sciencey question. I used to be all about the IGF-1 concept as a vegan. I thought that triggering IGF-1 was not a good thing. Too much protein obviously can trigger IGF-1. I was even to the point where I was considering limiting soy to a certain extent. But I just don't think it matters, man. I don't think that we know enough about any of that stuff. I think that if your body... Look, there's sort of a saying with this is the best indication of future health is your current health. So if you feel good right now doing what you're doing, internally, physically, all that, then there's a chance you're going to feel good later. That's kind of like my prerogative on it. It didn't matter that my blood test came back looking okay when I was a vegan and my performance wasn't as where I wanted it to be. I was gaining visceral fat and a lot of fat on my stomach. I wasn't able to gain the muscle mass that I wanted to. My teeth were falling apart. So it's like, okay, this blood test says one thing. The vegan science says one thing. All the vegans are telling me it's amazing. They're telling me it's good for my digestion. And none of that seems true when I go and I do it myself. So I messed around. I tried a few different ways of it and it didn't work. And now I'm doing this and I feel pretty damn good. Is it absolutely perfect? No, like I said, I'm still working on a little teeny tiny bit of digestion stuff, but for the most part, I mean, really, really good. Really good. Luke says, during the stream, I received news from my teacher. I passed Calculus 4. Dude, Calculus 4, you're nuts. That is insane. Congratulations. That is definitely my weakness in school is math, for sure. Drew, you can get shredded in no time. I know, man. I know. I'm playing around. All I would need to do to get shredded if I wanted to, which I'm only 147 pounds in the morning. I don't need to worry about it. I'm going to get up to like 160, 165, hopefully. And hopefully I won't gain too much body fat. And then we'll see what happens there. I'm not worried about it at all until like 160 minimum. And that should be a while from now. I'm trying to gain like 2 to 3 pounds a month. Yeah, Bite Flux, you're right. I couldn't care less about my blood panel. If your blood tests were good, then your digestion is working. That's not what that means. My digestion sucked and my blood tests were pretty good. They're all in the normal range. I read that IGF-1 and HGH regain youth. Yeah, or retain youth. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, maybe. I mean, look at these vegan doctors. Look at Gregor. You know, he's anti-IGF-1. I mean, does he look healthy to you? Like, do you think women are looking at him and feeling some type of way in their body? They're wanting to reproduce with this man. I mean, nature kind of, in a crude way, nature gives us the answers. Are they attractive to you?
And here comes a real steak. But just look at the texture of this thing.
Yeah, I only weigh 147. 5'10", 147 in the morning. Remember, I'm not eating any carbs. So if I were to eat like carbs for a week, I would probably weigh more like 152. So I'm not saying I'm some gargantuan man. I'm just saying in a very carb depleted state, 147 is not as low as it sounds. JG Lee, thanks for the $2, bro. Good job, Drew. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, 5'10", 180, that's a solid dude if he's lean. Yeah. That's a good physique right there. I would love to be 180, 10% body fat, 5'10". So who wants to ban General Naughton? Somebody say I want to ban. Some loyal viewer that I know. You get to do the execution. Who wants it? There's got to be an execution every stream. Speak up in the chat if you'd like to do the execution. I will mod you, honorary mod, to ban this man, General Naughton. It would please me. Really Organic says, wait, no carbs? I thought I heard you say recently you had beans and rice. Yeah, I'm eating some carbs. Like, after you eat carbs, they're pretty much out of your system within a couple days. Wait, ban who? Are you sure? Yeah. Hell yeah, I'm sure. Oh, Carnivore took care of him. Carnivore wanted to pull the trigger. Oh, okay. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Okay, sorry guys. Sorry, it's done. There will be honorary executioners next stream, I'm sure. I'm sure. I see, Carnivore, it's a new thing. You haven't been around. I grant honorary mod status for executions in the chat. Loyal viewers who speak up first, they get the honorary mod. They get to do the banning. I'd like that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of interaction I want to see between streamer and viewer. It's okay. It's okay. I understand. You had to get your bans in. I get it. We'll give it up to somebody else next time when the guy comes back on his alternate account. It's funny, that guy, he said I bet you smell bad. So here's the funny thing about that. I feel like if I don't drink caffeine and I eat carnivore, I have zero body odor at all. If I drink caffeine, body odor.
Oh. Okay. That's my first set.
Oh, you need cranberry juice?
We
you need cranberry?
told him anything,
oh.
Don't vape. Don't vape. We don't like vaping.
Sarah, that was Canadian 5. It's got to be a US 5. Oh. Here, I'll play it for you. Don't worry. I got you. by request. It's my favorite one. If you need, if you guys are ever wondering like what cranberry juice is best for, contact Ted Carr. He'll let you know. Vegan Gains is a waste of energy. Here's the TED donation right here.
And then here we've got some cranberry juice. It's great for your penis or vagina.
Penis or vagina. It's good for your penis or vagina. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate that. Whoever you banned, I'm talking about. What, Charles? That guy is a loser. Oh, yeah, I got you. I got you, dog. Zach Ramey says, Saladino versus Vegan Gains. Make it happen, Drew. That would be a good one, wouldn't it? That would be a good one. I'd like that matchup. That's an interesting matchup. Okay, so have they faced off before? Ted wanted to come on the other day. By the way, Ted was trying to come on the other day when I had Rob Bliss, Austin on. But he had like this short window and Austin was just going to be coming on in that moment. So I wanted to give Austin like at least a solid hour to, speak before I had any other guests on or anything like that. Saladino's way above VG's pay grade. Yeah, but vegetable, or why do I call him vegetable? Vegetable Police, Vegan Gains, VG. I just see the VG and I think veg instantly. Vegan Gains has a huge channel, so I'm sure Paul would be into it. James Wilkes for Saladino. That would be a good one. That would be a good one as well. I want to see Wilkes and Sean Baker go down. Throw down. There's a couple other little people that are in the wings. Jacko Wacko is potentially looking into it. I have our boy Tommy, Tofu Tommy, in January said he wants to come on. So that'll be a few weeks away. So there's a few people milling in the wings. Frank Tufano said he's down. I just haven't contacted him yet for the official time. Yeah. There's a few people out there that are down. Robert Cassar is down. Haven't set a date. Rob Stewart is down. I should probably get him on soon. Oh, I think Health Coach Kate is going to do Thursday. I'm going to do a stream on Thursday with Health Coach Kate, the keto YouTuber. Me and Kate are buddies. Real Organic. Oh, Drew Morg. Yes, please. Can you have Ted on with Rob Bliss? If anyone can help him, I bet Ted can. Ted is absolutely not underweight, but he's vegan and was fruitarian, right? Yeah, I think Ted would be able to have an interesting conversation there. I wish Ted was there that stream, but it's all good. Sarah, I'm sure that Carnivore used decent judgment on whoever he banned. I know that Chris Grant guy can be a problem. I've seen him say good stuff and also bad stuff. And also, the dude who last got banned, he definitely deserved it. He's an idiot. So sometimes people do need to get banned. I'm down with a lot of shit talking in my chat, to be honest with you. Like, I'm cool with people having it out in there. I like to let it breathe a little bit more so than most people. But if someone is like just coming in to troll, they're getting banned. If they're disagreeing and they're rude and they're just, they're an idiot, they can stay. But if they are purposely coming into troll and being annoying, they're getting banned, because that's not what I'm putting up with. I've tried to get Red Pill Vegan on, actually. Somebody said Red Pill Vegan. I hit him up the other day, and he says he's a follower of the channel. He's a subscriber. He said he likes what I'm doing here, but he said that he doesn't think it's a good idea for him to come on. And then I made a comment to him on his channel. I reached out to him again, and then all his viewers jumped on and were like, don't let him manipulate you. Drew's just telling you what you want to hear, telling you nice things. He's a gaslighting and manipulative. Like, oh my God. How weak-minded are you vegans? You guys don't even let somebody come on the show to speak. and just have a conversation. He might brainwash you. Don't go on his show. Don't do it. Pathetic, dude. Pathetic. I like that guy. He's okay. I think he's probably a little incorrect. I think he's starting to question things right now, to be honest with you. Like recently, he did a thing kind of recently where he was interviewing Dr. Greger at some health conference. Did you guys see this? And he throws these questions out at Dr. Greger, and Greger's like, okay, send me the study. I'll have to take a look at that. It's like, I thought you'd seen every study in the world, Dr. Greger. How do you not know about these basic ones that he's throwing out at you? How is Red Pill Vegan, some YouTuber, more on top of the studies than you are? Now, the General Naughton guy was piping off in the chat. He was just saying stupid stuff. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good, guys. Don't worry about the banning. You're good. Isn't Red Pill Vegan a small fish? He sure is. Yeah, he's small. But the thing is like, I'm small too. So I'm not going to discount somebody's presence or what they have to say because their channel's small. I mean, we just did a call-in show where we had completely random people call in. You know what I mean? This isn't all about me piggybacking on other people's fame to boost my channel's presence. As far as I'm concerned, the people that are the most important in the whole thing right now, they all know who I am already anyways. So it's just a matter of YouTube taking care of me and boosting me up to the big impressive numbers. You know. John Venus, we DM, we're cool. Like, I made a video about him the other day. I sent him the link. I'm like, here, check it out. And he's like, in the video I say, he looks pretty healthy. And John Venus is like, hey, thanks for the compliment. Pretty healthy. Like, he's all offended, but he's cool about it. I was like, dude, you look pretty healthy. I mean, you look all right. I don't think any vegans are really healthy, to be honest with you. But you know how I am about it. He's just like, this guy. Live callers, testimonials. I think it's a real change up here. Actually works very well. Love the stream. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I don't care how many viewers somebody has, how many subscribers. If they're an interesting person, I want them on the channel. So, yeah. If they're big, hey, even better. But, hey, listen to me. Listen. Some of the biggest name people in the health space aren't very interesting. And they're not that cool. Imagine me interviewing Fully Raw Christina. Really? Like, that's going to be a boring interview. I think. Like, she doesn't interest me that much. I'd rather have on Rob Bliss. You know? Or talk to random people. Would I interview Fully Raw Christina just for the exposure? Yeah, I would. But, like, what? You think she's going to answer any direct questions? Do you think she's going to say anything that we haven't heard her say before? Do you think she's going to, like, take the raw vegan, mask off and really get down in here? No. That's why people won't come on my show. They don't want to be seen as real. They're like, they stay on their channel and they make their little content and they put their little fake, borders up around them because they can edit and shit. That's the only reason not to come on the show. I'm not a bad guy. Drew Freely versus Elise, book it? Nah. No thanks. Christina is cool, confused but cool. She wouldn't do your show. Yeah, she can't get real. Exactly. Christina was supposed to stay at our house in Hawaii like 2 different times when I lived there. She's good friends with Megan Elizabeth. Megan was like, she told me multiple times. She's like, hey, Christina might be coming through like in a few weeks. Whatever. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And she never came. And Megan, it was kind of assumed both times that like she needed like a little bit of a fancier living situation or something to stay. I don't know. I just got this feeling that like she wasn't down to kind of like be with the normal vegans. You know what I mean? Yep, Freely on here. I would have her on here. Freely obviously has a huge problem with Elise. Well, I mean, the entire vegan community is turning on her. They have been for the last year, so there's nothing new there. I have been eating plant-based for about 24 years. If you want to chat, maybe I need to Skype, though. Can only do it through phone. We're done with calls today. We're going to wrap it up quickly or shortly here. We just kind of had some fun comments going on in the end of the chat. We're kind of just hanging. Yeah, Christina's too elite. Exactly. She's like, she comes from the moolah, and that's how she rolls. I'd have Lilikoi on the show. I'd talk to Lilikoi. We've had some hostile words to each other in my channel. You know, on a liberal versus, you know, non-liberal basis. We disagree on many things, I'm sure. But I'd have her on the channel. I've had Tim Sheaf on the show. Tim's cool. He's a good friend of the show. I like Tim. We talk all the time also. Yeah, see, John Venus, you know, he got that little taste of the vegans just lashing out at him, man. How brutal is how brutal is that? Imagine any other thing that you do in life. Like, let's say you're a marathon runner and you're like, you run marathons once every week for the last 5 years, once a weekend, and you have a huge fan base. And then one weekend, you're like, you know what, guys? I'm taking this weekend off. Right? That's like John Venus eating the eggs. But in this case, it's the marathoning, right? One weekend, you take a marathon off. You're like, I've been running marathons for 5 years straight. I'm taking one weekend off, guys. People be like, dude, you deserved it. Congratulations. You went 5 years. You're so amazing. You've done something that nobody else can do. You've been running like crazy. Take your time off. You're amazing. You're awesome, dude. You inspire me so much. Like, you deserve that. I'll run for you this weekend. But instead, his entire community just crushes him. Do I think John Venus is changing his perspective? No, not necessarily. Luke, did you send super chat? I'm gonna go check that right now. Did you send super chat? Did I miss you in super chat in PayPal? I haven't logged in, man. I'm sorry about that. I gotta set that up. Zach Bitter and During Rider might be a great debate. Yeah, that would be a good one too. I like that. I like that idea. I know he would be down. Inflammation gains. All good, man. All good, Luke. Okay. All right, guys. We've done 3 hours and 10 minutes. We're just popping off with these 3-hour streams lately. Again, thank you so much for being here. There's like 150 people consistently this entire chat. It's the most we've had for a live call-in. Hopefully even more next time. Why not? I'll try and announce it 24 hours in advance. I like to announce my streams at least a day in advance. Make sure you hit the notification when you see that, so that way you can just be like doing your thing, and then your phone will notify you that we're going on. So make sure you also hit like and subscribe if you're not already. 60% of you out there are not actually subscribed to the channel, which is crazy. And we get huge amounts of watch hours on this channel. So I'm really stoked on the whole retention and everybody who supports and everything like that. It's amazing. Drew, Eames chairs are not new. They came out in the 1950s. Rich people have purchased them for decades. Don't discredit for her parents' furniture choices. She's a kid being used by adults. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. But her parents still have $10,000 chairs. She ain't broke, dog. All right, guys. Peace out. We'll catch you probably Thursday. Later.